Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, just another day goes by. Well,
I hear you. Are you further than you were yesterday?
no, not at all.
Oh,
Not sure what you mean by that, though. Anyway.
it's all good. You're still alive,
Yeah, so far.
right?
Sure.
Oh, just been staring at this video editor all day.
Oh, I did see the Together Alone video. That was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I I was just trying to do something to clear my brain.
Everything going okay?
Um, yeah, it's one of those things where it's more the volume of work at this point. Like the creative work is done. It's just iterating
Gotcha.
20 times, you know?
Yeah, that can be a real pain in the ass.
It's it's in a lot of ways it's a better problem to have than the other one, which is what you know,
Yeah, that's true.
because you don't feel like you're. The thing is, like, when we started creating these videos, there was no assurance that anyone was going to be able to follow along with them.
Yeah.
And so when we were able to test it and people were able to follow along, we're okay. Okay, good. You know, let's
Yeah.
carry
It's
forward.
exciting. It's coming along nice. When do you think the classes for the voice lessons will start?
I'd like to start it ideally in the next week. Christian is going to call me back. Um, he was going to call me back. I wonder if I missed this text. One sec. Um, no. I talked to him earlier today. He's talking to the sound engineer. So I should find out soon,
Cool.
right? But I'd like it to start in the next week,
Yeah, sounds good.
right?
I'm looking
How does
forward.
what is weekends okay for you? What would
Oh
you
yeah.
prefer? Weekend?
Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Okay.
matter. It doesn't matter.
No. Okay.
I mean, I might be away for a few days in September, but beyond that, I can
Hmm.
work around that. I don't know.
Yeah.
See what
Yeah. Actually, Web3 was on the phone with me while I was creating that. Because it would just, I have this microphone here and I never use it, right? So I was like, huh,
Well, anyway,
Hello,
it turned out well. Oh, hi, Venus. How are you?
hey,
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
chill in.
How's everybody been? It's been a while since I've been in here.
It's been, it's had its ups and downs.
Mm.
Yeah, I can agree with that for my own personal life, anyway. Uh,
Yeah, but we're still here,
yeah, yeah,
which is
probably.
saying something, you
I
know?
think so,
Mm.
man. It is what it is, right? Peter,
Yeah,
what you doing, buddy? Oh, I sent me a heart.
Just generating imagery,
Yeah, cool.
just doing what
What
I
are
do.
you using?
I can't stay long today, so I was just popping in.
no,
Um, but I just wanted to say hello and take off again.
Oh, okay.
So
no worries.
Fun.
Hello
it
and
was nice.
goodbye, sadly.
You what?
Are you at the bar or did you leave the bar, Peter?
Oh, okay. I thought he was talking to me. I will see everybody soon.
See ya.
No, I said hello and goodbye, sadly. As in,
Oh,
yeah, acknowledging
oh,
you,
I don't
sorry.
know. Now I got bar in my head now. I don't know what the heck's going on here.
It's
I
probably because I've
finally,
already started drinking.
yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because I just found where'd it go? Oh, where did I put it? I found a beer that is my size. So I always complain, and you guys have heard me say that it's like, damn it, I feel bad. I pick up a beer, I drink half of it and put it down. Well, I found a beer that is how many ounces weight? It's in like one of those tiny little cans. It's 8 ounces, so it's like just the perfect size. It's like itty bitty. It looks like a little tomato juice. You know what I mean? It's like an 8 ounce little
Yeah, it's like a little shot. Yeah.
can. Yeah, it's so cute.
You got to be careful of those if they're high alcohol percentage, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes they increase the alcohol on those, you're right.
I'll look, but this is Coors Light, so how bad could it be?
Oh man, they must be charging an arm and a leg for that.
So Coors Light. Let me see here. It's got. I don't know. I can't see very well. Oh, 4.2% alcohol by volume. I don't know. I don't think that's that bad, is it?
Yeah.
4.2% is like our standard here.
Oh.
That's sad that it's light over there. Like as in for us.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm at home, so it's not a big deal. I mean, but that's normal, isn't it, Mike? Isn't that like?
Look, it's together alone. What can I say?
No, I mean 4.2% alcohol by volume's nothing.
It's I don't like. I'm in Canada, so I think we actually use more alcohol here.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, well, it's Coors Light, so I'm thinking it's probably not that bad.
Yeah, in Canada they have like I think I don't know because to Peter's point, those smaller shot ones sometimes have a higher alcoholic content. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'll watch out for it.
Sometimes. But yeah, no, so that's light over there. That's what our standard cause here is. Like what we get when I just buy like a slab of cause, that's 4.2%. Not cause light. Cause light's like 3.5 or something. Yeah. Australia really cracked down on all their alcohol content stuff like a while ago. And it's a bit sad. We still get like high alcohol beers, but they just have to be like the labeling is just different, if that makes sense.
I tried this fancy German beer, and it was supposed to be grapefruit and pomegranate and some other flavor, and they were not good. They were, and I'm not a fussy drinker at all, and I'm like, there's something not right with these. I don't know what it was. I didn't like them very much. Oh well, I got my Coors Light. That's my college beer vibe. I'll be fine. How much damage could I do? This shit's the first thing to freeze in cold weather.
It's funny. I was looking through the spaces and I was like, "Damn, Mel, you clipped a lot of things." I was like, "Oh shit," I was like, "Did I say that? Maybe I shouldn't have said that." But now I know how other people feel. So there it is.
Welcome to the party.
No, I think it was something about like how I said that if you're not a part of the nomination process, you're not a part of democracy.
But I mean, that's kind of true in a way, isn't it? Like, if you're not actually voting, then how is your voice being heard?
Well, my proposal today was like for all of us not to vote.
I'm going to be with you. I think that's probably the only solution. Of course, you'll vote anyway, whether you know it or not, but that's neither here nor there,
Yeah, I was told that the zealots would still go out and vote, but I really do believe. I mean, I'm like, we've been trying for hundreds of years this way. Why don't we do it the other way? It's like, I don't know.
It's important. I mean, I lived in New Jersey. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be a blue, a liberal. They're all nutty here, but
Mm.
it's let's see what happens. I mean, I'm looking at Biden's lighting the other day. I'm like, what in the
Yeah, everybody's going on about the lighting and how demonic he looks. I'm like, what the fuck, you people? Like, seriously? Like, this is the country that we live in, and you guys just want to keep on bashing, like, the person that represents the whole country. Like, this is
I
weird. It's
agree.
just weird to me.
And it's like they've
Like,
forgotten the last 30 years of Biden, where he's been basically either harmless or pro law enforcement,
mm,
but at the same time, it's like, who's brilliant? If there was like a Christmas tree back there, I'd be like, okay, this is a nice vibe. But it came off like really crazy, I'm just like, what?
I,
Okay.
I didn't I didn't watch the whole thing. I mean, I've only seen clips. Like, Was there anything like special or?
Oh no, it's the usual. I hate everybody, but the people that vote for me bullshit. But no, I'm kidding. No, it was moderate. Wasn't that bad. It was just there were clips that could be taken out of context as usual, and
Yeah.
the same old shit. I think the Dark Brandon thing's kind of fucking funny, actually. But I
I
would
don't
never
know.
admit that. I wouldn't admit it publicly. It does have this uh demonic vibe to it, but it's kind of funny. It's like this guy eats ice cream. Leave it alone, It's like you've made it clear you don't like the guy. He doesn't like you either. You just live with it, You had to suck it up for 8 years with Obama. I'm sure you can handle Biden, you
Yeah.
know. It's like ridiculous.
I was in a space with, do you guys know Rumble? Rumble, the app?
Yeah, I've heard of Rumble. I don't have the app, but I've heard of Rumble.
Yeah, so I guess it's an app, but I was in a space where they were wormholing Trump on Rumble. Like I was in this space and they had Trump coming through. So this was interesting to me. And I think the consensus in the room, well, obviously these were Trump fans, and so the consensus in the room was that in order for him to win, he had to run with a woman. And they're like, "What woman?" Because one of the guys was like, "It should be the dad and the son, like, put Eric up there." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you people." They're like, "No, put Ivanka." I'm like, "You guys, I don't know, it's just fucking
I'll be
crazy."
surprised. My personal opinion is I'll be surprised if Trump runs. He seems very out of shape. I mean, like really. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but he needs to
No,
like.
I mean they keep making fun of, like, what's his face that's there now, but it's like, are you guys really forgetting like the little mishaps that Trump himself had? Like, hello, didn't he just like fuck a like go hug a flag? Like he did that shit. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if he was
they're just so stupid. They're like, oh, this guy and it's like, you guys are
kidding.
fucking making a ridiculous ridiculing our president, whether you voted for him or not. Like, he's our rep. He's our fucking rep, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. Unfortunately, that bell's been rung. Like after the 2016 election, it's been downhill ever since. Just the quality of everything in terms of media is just forget about it. But at least we got some good memes.
Now, when you say you'd be surprised if Trump runs, are you talking about running for president or just running in general? Because I'd be surprised if Trump ran at all.
Well,
That's
that
funny,
too.
Peter.
My gut tells me that if he could decide to choose not to run for 2024, he would not. But he may not have a choice. I kind of hope he does run because I loved his Twitter. Like I wasted 4 years of my life, so I should be mad at him because I probably would have found Bitcoin like 4 years earlier, but for him. But I don't know. It was fun. It was a fun time, I guess. It was nice to have that. If you're nostalgic for America the way it quote unquote used to be, then Trump's your guy. And I enjoy. What I did not enjoy was the whole, um, you know, legal and quasi criminal issues that he had throughout his administration, and the lack of cooperation and the professional managerial class in DC just being impossible to work with. That's the sort of stuff I did not enjoy seeing. But I think we need to get back to the middle. Like I think it's funny because I say to people tell me, well, Obama's a moderate. I'm like, well, he is now, but he wasn't when he was president. I mean, people saw him initially when he came in. I'm not talking later on, but when he initially came in and was able to get the Affordable Care Act over the barrel and get that through, people were like, "Oh my God, the world's going to end. He's so far left." And now, looking back, it's like he was like middle of the road. And thank effing God, I wish we could have him back. Maybe his wife will run. I hope Michelle does run. I think we need a little more sanity and coherence. Back in the White House and someone younger. Like just I'm not an ageist, but I mean, come on. If you're going to be pushing 80, it's a tough job by anyone's standards. Yeah. And it's not really designed, to be handled by someone.
I think it's very annoying that we're run. This country is like all the decisions are made by old folks that are so out of tune with like what everybody's living. You know,
Oh yeah.
they got Twitter accounts and people running them. You know, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you don't even like.
I agree with you. There should be some sort of age
Like
consideration.
Pelosi, like that lady is like, how fucking, how much longer is she gonna be there? Like, get the fuck out, like, move over.
Yeah, Nancy's a mess. I mean, she seems like she means well, but I don't know. She kind of, I'm worried she's going to like drop dead in the middle of her job. I'm actually worried about her. It's like, lady, come on. Like, I think the oldest person that retired still alive was like Strom Thurmond. Wasn't he in his 90s or something? I don't know. It's bananas. But yeah, there should be like, like airline
And it's
pilots. I think there's like a limit for airline
not
pilots.
ageism. It's like, let's see how coherent you are. Let's see if it really doesn't work. You know, if your brain is still working. Like, our brain deteriorates, and then people don't want to face the facts. Like, seriously.
Oh no, true. Very true.
Ginsburg, like, I love that, and I resent her for like dying on the field instead of passing the baton. Like, she could have fucking picked someone. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was a mess.
That's the part that makes me mad. It's like, you're gonna croak, get the fuck out of the way, make somebody, like, bring somebody up, right? You
And
know?
they did talk to her. They did have a very protracted conversation with her about,
Oh, did they? Yeah.
yeah, and she
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. But you know what? I can kind of understand that because I can see, um, I can see myself being very irritated by someone telling me, "Hey, you're too old. Step down." Probably like, "Oh, okay, fuck you."
Yeah,
Like, I,
completely. But like,
yeah.
look at where we are now. Like, look at how many justices have like been picked, chosen, and like, it's just not, it's not balanced right now. That Supreme Court is not balanced right now.
Oh, we got wiped. Yeah, like
Yeah, but
I mean, someone was saying to me, "Well, this all got changed on a technicality." Because of the justices, the Roe v. Wade. And I said, it did. But on the other hand, people need to be more careful when they choose what cases they're going to pursue in court, because you could end up with a real, fuckery of a case going all the way to the United States Supreme Court and being like the perfect, like what happened here. And because it was an all or nothing sort of case, and they had the opportunity to settle that case and get a lesser result, but they're like, no, hell no, let's go. I'm like, all right, well, guess what you did. So it's here we are. It's bananas. So that's another way, Mike might appreciate this. That's another way, that the legal system can be used to try to get a particular result if you're very careful in your planning and know the ropes and grease a few wheels here and there. There you have it. So Melody, what's up tonight? What are you doing?
I'm washing dishes and I'm gonna go see a movie, I think.
Wow, cool, awesome.
There's an awesome little theater where I live. It's like a little, it's been like 80 years old. It's like, they revived it a few years ago. It's so the main hall, the main cinema is like antique, super like beautiful inside, and
I love that. I love
it's
that.
like, I mean, it's super cool. And then over the pandemic, they actually added more stuff to it. So there's like luxury, like, what do they call it? The luxury seats are basically like lazy boys. You know, you electric. You know, you lay back.
Gotcha. Oh, those are great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Cineplex, so that's number one, the big one. And then there's like six, seven more, and it's the second building attached. It's a cool place. I love it.
Yay. Well, have a good time when you go.
Yeah, I mean, I go I go to the movies like once or twice a week, like because I'm single, so I just like get bored and go. Like, I want to go on a date. I'm gonna go take myself on a date. And there's restaurant. It's a restaurant attached, so I get to
Oh,
order something. They bring the food to me. They bring my drink.
oh, that is awesome. That is great. Yeah, we have one, or where I was living there was one that did the same thing, but it was close to the Philly. It was a bit of a hassle to get to, but I was like planning on it. Just never got around to it. They sound like fun though.
And that's
Last time I heard from Jeff, he was working on a door.
Oh yeah, the door from Lowe's.
Yeah, I got it. I opened it up and it was damaged.
Oh,
You're kidding me.
So I took pictures and I sent it to the manufacturer. So kind of going through that process right now.
Like unrecoverable?
Um, no, I don't know if I want to actually put any work on it yet because it's like I don't know how many lights it has, but it's not. It's like I don't know. Make something up. 24 light window. It's got the little panes inside glass, and there's like two of them in the middle that are about like more than an eighth of an inch, probably 3/16 of an inch off center. So like the grid, just like part of it's shifted, like the little wood pieces. I don't know what's up with that. That looks like a manufacturing defect. But then at the top of the door, they hit it in shipping so hard that it kind of broke the edge and then blistered some of the paint on the seams where they joined the panels together and stuff. So I want to see what they are going to do before I, try to repair it or whatever.
yeah, I hate obstacles. They're not fun. Like what obstacles? That sucks.
Yeah. So they should replace it completely for me. I mean, that's the right thing to do. So,
Yeah, but that doesn't help. Oh,
right.
Where'd you get it from?
Lowe's. It was a special order. Yeah. So they can just file a freight claim. The shipper can pick up the cost on their insurance. So
so is it cold or hot up there, or what's the weather like up there right now?
in Colorado,
I don't know. Why do I think you were in Alaska? I'm sorry.
I used to live there 2 years ago.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm thinking the guy down there.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, 85 today or something like that.
Oh my
We
god.
went out to Windsor and watched a hot air balloon launching. That was pretty cool
Oh,
this
that's so
morning.
fun.
Yeah.
Yay. I was driving home from camping once, and there was a bunch of balloons landing in the valley where the mountains were, and it was just really, really beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
Mike, what is your favorite book? Wait, Terry Pratchett, right?
No,
Oh,
it would be maybe The Long Walk.
I love that one. That's so
Oh man,
that's one of my favorites.
Oh my God, Michael, can you hear me? This is
Yeah,
a long walk.
yeah. Bachman books.
Yeah, it is my favorite.
Shut your mouth. That's
Favorite.
so
No,
weird.
it is my. No, I have obsessed with turning it into a movie. I have been
Yeah.
ever since I was like
Well,
young. Yeah.
one of those you can turn into a movie. One of those 4 books. You know what I mean? They
Okay.
actually
Oh, what? You mean Rage?
I think it was Rage, right? Yeah. Yeah, they can't do
Yep.
Rage anymore. But
Yes.
The Long Walk,
Yeah.
it was, dude, that was a really touching book. You know what, though? The other thing I was going to say was The Green Mile. The Green Mile was sad as shit.
Yeah, the Green Mile.
Oh, my.
Was it Noni? Is it Noni? I think too. That was. I love that one. No, but the Long Walk. That does something to my
Man,
soul.
that's so weird that you know The Long Walk. Yeah, The Long Walk. I don't know, maybe because of like when I read it too. It's like as this yeah. If you've never read if you don't know
Well,
so
yeah, you need to read that.
just to
Yeah.
paint the picture, Stephen King wanted to know if he still had it. Stephen King wanted to know if people just read his books because of his name or because they liked his writing. So we decided to write under a pseudonym called Richard Bachman. And then those books blew up, specifically Thinner. And yeah, and then people found out it was Stephen King again. But yeah, he proved the point that he still had it because he was able to produce a book under a pseudonym, and people still love the book. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's done so many books that I love. Like I really love It. One of my favorites. That's a really good one too. But the Bachman books were just amazing. Like
Well,
really good.
I like your Shakespeare's Stephen King theory that Stephen King is not just Stephen King; it's Stephen King and his wife. That do 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 do. You know what I mean? Like,
I could be right about that. I don't know. I mean, her writing
yeah. Look,
is mesmerizing.
I don't know anything apart from what you said, but it makes a lot of sense to me. Like
And
he
there's nothing
talked
wrong.
about like having these periods in his life where he just wrote book after book after book that he left unpublished or unfinished.
Well, he was on a lot of cocaine back then, if I believe what he has said about that in the past and what others have said. But I have no idea, really, personally. Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Oh,
he's absolutely. He talks about it actually, right? He talks about his cocaine addiction, his alcoholism. You know what I mean? And just his. I mean, he's a compulsion, right? To write, and he's just brilliant, and it just comes out of him. Like I don't think he can help it, honestly. I don't think he has a choice, and
and
he
I
just leaned
enjoy.
in. And thank goodness because he's
Yeah.
created some just amazing. I'm so glad to be alive at this time. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you?
Yeah. The Rita's, yeah. And again, I can't believe you said The Long Walk. I had to jump in because not many will reference The Long Walk
Oh
or let
man,
alone like have
yeah.
a deep love for it, right?
Oh
Yeah.
man, that book is The Long Walk to Green Mile. I remember, you know, the desperation and yeah, the movie's set in the like the deep south or whatever. Um, those were really the thing is like people they call him a horror writer, but you can't really write a horror novel. Does that make sense? You can't kill someone on every page of the book. Like what are you gonna do? Right? And so it's like most of the books are just human stories with occasional violence, you know, but it's like 98% human story and 2% violence if you looked at the pages themselves.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he always picks like good quotes or good songs to kind of be a companion.
Did you? Oh, have you guys went through the? This is like nerd hour. The Dark Tower series.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good.
Oh man, my favorite.
Great.
The audiobooks by read by Frank Mueller are astonishing.
Oh really? I haven't done that.
Oh man, yeah. Look on YouTube and look up Dark Tower and just put Frank. And the way he reads it is so good. It's so good.
Have you ever done like? Have you ever read an audiobook? I mean, when I mean that, have you ever like done that professionally, like, the way he has?
No, no, because that's like to do it really well. That you have to throw yourself into like acting, right? Depending on the book you want to do, right? But
I bet you could.
there, yeah, I think I could, right? It requires a lot of dedication to do an audiobook, you know?
No,
Uh,
but if I believe you, I mean, I'm an idiot. I'm like, oh yeah, I think this is doable, and
no, it's yeah, no, I think if it was something I was interested in, at this point though, it's like I'm kind of creating my own content, like Together Alone and shit like that. So it's like I don't think I would. A lot of the stuff I do, I wouldn't do it for other people unless I had equity or I was doing it for myself, right? Like the videos I'm creating is because I have ownership in the company, not because I'm doing it as just a job. Because it's way too much work to do as a job.
oh yeah.
Yeah, this stuff is nuts. I'm just looking at this project. I should close this down so it doesn't stops giving me anxiety. Hold on. Show you my screen. Oh my god. All right, closing you down.
Well, can anyone help you with that? I mean, I don't know anything about video editing, but
It's you ever feel sometimes that it would take longer to delegate than to do?
yeah, a lot. Yep. I get it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would love other people, someone else to do it, but like to do it to the level of care that I want, I don't know about that. I'm not sure if I could pay someone to care this much about this, if that makes sense.
oh no, it makes total sense. Yeah. I'm just sad that I'm not up to your standard. I'd be glad to help, but I'd actually make your day work.
Well, no, I mean, there's nothing to say that someone couldn't do it better than I could. It would have to invest so much of themselves, right? Just to like, okay, it's like, how it's like, so you want to attract funding? It's like, so you want to edit 45 minutes, 22. So you want to edit 15 hours of video. You know what I mean? Like it's I wouldn't lay this on anyone.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's one of those things that I chose, right? And the reason I'm interested is because I don't think anyone has done something like this, right? But when it comes to yeah, and maybe if I was more open to delegating, I would get more done. But at the same time, you know what it's like when you delegate something and then you have to do more work to get it done because now you're handling things and you're getting things back and things are in the wrong order and now you have to
Right. Yeah.
you know at the same time I'm not running a conveyor belt. Like I'm only I don't know.
I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, if you're, there's things that I do where, I feel the same way. I'm like, I can't farm this out to someone. They're just going to mess it up or not mess it up, but not do it the way I would do it. So, yeah. I
Yeah,
get it.
and in my mind, not doing it my way is messing it up.
Yeah, I understand. I know a lot of people like that. It's not, yeah.
And that's me, right? I only give thing to someone if someone can do it better than I can, not worse.
Right, yeah. Oh boy. which there's
right?
nobody, so it's just you.
I mean, that's the blessing. And but it's. I also didn't want to have to rely on anyone to do anything because whenever I had to rely on someone, it ended up being like I had to wait, and then I had to, you know what I mean? And now I'm begging someone to do something that I thought I paid for. So it's like now it's like, all right, so I'm gonna figure out how to edit video because I don't want to ask anyone to do it. And every time I've asked someone to do it, it's just, you know what I mean? Maybe
Oh,
it's
I'm with
And
you.
and
Yeah.
sometimes when you think that what you want and what you've asked for plainly and taken care to, map out is totally intuitive, and then have it blow up in your face.
it's also like I don't know what I want until I'm done creating it. You know what I mean? Right? I don't know what I want. What do I want? I don't know. It's whatever I end up creating over 20 versions, right? It'll, you know, so I'm not sure if anyone else, I'm not
So I can.
sure how to, yeah. Hmm.
I think a lot of people here, are like I'm sure, like Peter would be like, "Oh, I can't farm out the way I do, something to someone because it's just not going to come out quite the same." Yeah, I think everybody's that way, to some extent. At least the people in the syndicate are probably.
I think so. I think it's the benefits and curses of autism or whatever.
Oh,
Where,
Yeah, right.
Certain things you definitely cannot farm out. Other
But
things you absolutely can. Pick your
yeah,
battles.
it's a certain amount of permission to decide to collaborate with somebody, and you have to let boundaries, some of your usual ridges and boundaries, kind of go away, so that you can be open. But you have to trust that person. It's kind of like having sex.
And that is
yeah,
why I don't like having meaningless hookups.
sex is a service. I like it. Um, yeah, I think it's also has to do with the phase. So right now I'm setting design patterns. Now for the next courses, 100%, I can make sure they're filmed in a way that allows someone else to do it. Right? But for now, in the setting of the tone and set, you know what I mean? All of that stuff. It's like it's too it's one, it's too time sensitive, and two, I'm too I'm too wedded to making sure that this looks the way I intended it to look and the way I promised the people that are expecting this the way it would look, you know?
oh yeah.
And so from a control perspective, it's like, no, sure I could, but it's not worth it because of the risk and also because of the complexity. This is a very technical course on like basically how to become a data center technician from scratch. So it's like, you know, it's not just like a simple kind of video editing thing where you can be like, oh, I just chop it here and here. No, no, no. You have to understand like these arcane standards that nobody cares about unless you're building a data center, right? And so to expect someone to all of a sudden, learn all of that technical stuff overnight, it's again,
Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from with all that. It's kind of depressing when you think about it. It's like, gee, for the rest of my life doing this.
oh yeah, no, this is the this is the only time I'm doing this. Now that I'm setting the standards for the learning, then we can use the standard across everything, right? So
Oh,
it's like, okay, so this is what we want everything to look like for the next 4 courses. So someone else can take it from here.
Well, it'll be exciting to see. I know I look forward to it, even though I'm crabby.
No, it's okay. Yeah, Jeff actually works with me at the company. Yeah, he's just super modest. Yeah, without Jeff, none of this would have been possible.
Yeah. Well, Jeff's, I don't know. He's getting defeated by a door. I know, I'm kidding.
Look, greater men than I have been defeated by a door, you know?
Oh, me too.
It's a Dark Tower joke.
Young Frankenstein too.
Young Frankenstein sounds like a rapper.
No, that's the one. It was Gene Wilder and who else was in that one? With Abby Normal, the brain. Remember that? The brain in a jar.
That's AB Normal. AB Normal.
Yeah.
And it's was it Bernadette Peters?
That
Was
was
the
Stephen.
yeah.
Stephen. Hmm.
Yeah. So open the door. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
Bad.
Yeah, but do you push or pull? Or do you twist the knob, or do you just grab it? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. What hump? You know, they kept looking. What hump?
Yeah.
talking about opening a door, dude.
That was a good movie, though. That was a good movie.
Yo, Swarm, what you up on? You feeling good? You feeling nice?
I actually do it. It's a public service announcement, actually. I did the research, so you guys don't have to. Do not do the one chip challenge, just to let you know.
Oh shit! How'd it go?
Absolutely horrible.
Are you eating an avocado now?
No, it's the weirdest thing. Like you see these TikToks where these people eat these things like crackers and shit. That's not the problem. The heat in your mouth is fine. That goes away in like 20 minutes. It's the gymnastics, literal gymnastics that your stomach does afterwards. Like the high bar. I think we're doing some demonstrative dance going on now, and backflips, and I'm not sure where we're gonna end
Are
up. I
you
don't know if we're gonna go up go and do some other stuff like high dive and things like that. I don't know. I don't know where this leads.
are you currently on the porcelain throne?
I am currently not on the porcelain throne. That was actually an earlier
Did it
experience.
send you? Did it send you to the throne?
It absolutely sent me to the throne. I did.
Oh, fuck.
I definitely did some work there, some business. Absolutely, yes. It is. It was not fun. Very memorable. Just not a fun
May I
experience.
suggest? I'm gonna suggest an Epsom salt bath just to
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
soothe.
This currently is the bath going on.
Awesome. There we go. Hopefully
Here's
you'll.
hoping it doesn't become a brown bath.
No, that is gross as shit. I'm sorry. No, that's not happening. My God, that's gross. But yeah, I did the experience. I can't help myself. I've never been able to help myself with challenges. I've done so many friggin' dumb things when I was challenged to do it. And no one even challenges it. It's like I challenge myself and I do literally the things that will, odds are that my safety will be considered, be challenged the most, like jumping off just monstrosities of bridges into water and stuff like that. And yeah, I do those things. Like, I'm still alive, but hey, I'll keep trying, I guess.
I just posted a challenge for you.
No,
I don't know if you're single.
no challenges. Stop.
If you're single, or if you're with somebody, but check it out. Have you guys seen this up there? The 30-day challenge of intimacy.
Oh yeah,
This couple up here.
yeah. The guy with the stone look on his face.
The guy with the 3 looks on his face, and that's it.
Yeah. I wonder which is more difficult, that 30-day challenge or the milk crate one.
Well, they're entirely different for sure.
I don't know. Both might blow your back out.
I think with this challenge, you'll get a good pack abs, a good pack of abs.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that challenge. That sounds fun.
Yeah. I think I prefer that than broken a leg off that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one instead of that milk crate challenge. Look, I absolutely, when I heard about the milk crate challenge, I obviously stepped up on a milk crate, and I was like, oh no, this one's not for me.
It's just so crazy. Like the way people felt, like the amount of emergency room visits was that last summer or the summer before? When the fuck was this?
The challenge is, it was really, really funny. That was the only problem with it. Like, the videos were pretty amazing.
Yeah, I saw an amazing after video where a guy fell and he showed that it took a year for him to get back to normal from a fall.
Oh man.
Did
What
he
the
get back
fuck?
up on the crate?
No, he doesn't want to get back up on the crate. He said
Nah.
he's going to leave that to some other people.
It could have been like a Rocky. It could be like a Rocky scenario. You know what I mean? When he comes back and he overcomes the crate.
Yeah, the crates it's not a good challenge at all because even if you're agile and stuff, you're really getting lucky, right? Like if the crates are set right, you might be able to do it. It's a balance thing, but at the same time, if you have good balance, you could still easily fall. Like it's not just the skill level to it is more luck than anything.
But maybe like it's the crates getting back at humans for like treating them bad. You know, if you've ever
It
worked in a
obviously
grocery
is.
store, right? If you ever worked in a grocery store, you'll know how bad we treat. You know what I mean? You set them on the ground, it's dirty. So maybe it's their way of getting back at us. Maybe real milk crates are sentient.
Have you watched Rick and Morty and the episode with the dogs? Jerry, he makes Jerry uh, smell his pee because Jerry from this Rick and Morty pees on the rug, and the dog makes him smell his own pee.
Oh,
It's one of the best Rick and Morty episodes there is. You should
yeah,
watch it.
it's absolutely the best. It's like you'll never treat one of your pets bad after this one.
You will. It's yeah, absolutely. They should use that as a video before you get a dog. I don't know. I think Rick and Morty teaches us a lot of lessons anyway. And I was actually, so this is kind of funny. I was in a group today, and the guy brought his kids on to ask questions to people. And I, when I give kids advice, I give them a very simple advice. I'm like, you're probably smarter than me, and you've probably already learned more than I have. And I just say, like, you learn a lot in kindergarten, and use the stuff you learned in kindergarten to, make decisions in your life. And because other people start talking about words that you shouldn't be really talking to a kid about, and they kept on saying the word worry about. I'm like, no, kids shouldn't be worrying. Like, don't talk about that. Don't even use that word when you're, giving these people, kids, advice. Like be a kid right now, and that worrier stuff will come later on. Like, and it was just shocking that they kept on talking about it. And these were guys from Princeton and Yale, and they obviously were taught from their parents to worry about things. And I don't think you should teach that stuff to kids. I guess I think they get it eventually anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, my father tried very hard to like keep us out of the financial worries and stuff. But yeah, I mean, as we got older, it was rather obvious that we were in pretty much trouble constantly. But yeah, I mean, it's probably not something a kid should have to think about until they have to.
Yeah, I don't think you should be teaching. He's a 9-year-old, and they were talking about worry. Like, oh, the things you should worry about now are. I'm like, no, don't teach your kid. Don't even have a discussion that starts that way. Like, don't worry about anything. Like, your parents' job is the worry part. Like, that's their job at 9 years old. Like, you should not be worrying at 9 years old. If you're already worrying at 9 years old, you've got some issues coming when you're 11 and 12 and 13. And,
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's a cultural thing too. Like the like a lot of kids in China are driven by the social status of their parents. They have this whole keeping up with the Joneses thing that's been going on with the middle and middle upper classes there. So you'll have one kid, like, first of all, their school days much longer than an American one. Then on top of that, they are pretty much peer pressured into taking piano lessons and English lessons with a Western accent English speaking tutor, and the list goes on and on. So you'll have kids up from like they'll be up at like 5:30, 6 a.m. all the way till like 9 o'clock at night, doing various activities with no, with pushing some food in their mush, very little breaks, and it's like really affected them. It's just kind of sad to watch, but they recently started addressing that. So so yeah, I mean, I can see where that's an issue, trying to let kids be kids.
What is the Jones? Is it Keeping Up with the Changs? I wonder what the common Chinese name is that they call it.
Same difference. Trying to think of what the most common one is. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but yeah, it's just,
It would be very funny to know the different things. Like, I think that stuff is hilarious.
yeah, I've seen kids get so upset and frustrated with their schedule, and they're having it. They take it out on themselves because there's no one else they can take it out on. So they'll be sitting in an English class, and we'll be working on pronunciation, and then all of a sudden they'll start hitting themselves in the head and pulling out their hair.
So you're from New York, right?
I was from New Jersey. I moved to Miami.
Oh, okay. So you have like that area, your accent and stuff is a New York / New Jersey one, right? So have you run into people in like Midtown and Manhattan that you run into Jewish people that are very what is it called when you're when they wear like when they're serious, like really devout?
You mean what's the Hasidic?
Hasidic, yeah. I've actually had some conversations with Hasidic Jews, and my God, it seems so like I understand that culture is different, and I would never beseech or say one culture is better than the other or anything like that. But it's shocking, like kids don't stay kids long there in that religion, do they?
I don't know what you mean. I mean,
Well,
they actually have some very strict internal rules about how long one can stay out, and under what circumstances. And I mean, it's a pretty orthodox belief system.
yeah, is that it starts really young too, as well. Like there's no like at point there's no age before it kicks in, correct?
I don't think so. Right. I mean, but kids will be kids under that religion. It's just,
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, kids will be kids in anything, even if you have that they have stresses and which they do, and people, putting their views on the kids as well. They'll still be kids. I'm just saying it seems like it's very let me see. It seemed very utilitarian when I was talking to them. It was kind of amazing. Like they have a plan. They start their planning really early, which was like when I talked to them, I had not started mine.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I have a few Hasidic friends, and I don't know. I mean, maybe they're not as orthodox as some of the other Orthodox Hasidic Jewish people, but I don't know. I mean, they do. I don't think they plan any more differently than say someone who's focused on goals. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure what you're getting at.
Yeah, I don't know. I met them. They were just different. It was a different culture than my culture. Maine in the United States, in Maine, we kind of have a very laid back culture, and
yeah.
we
admire
are super slow. Like our culture is slow.
They stand up for their religion. Like they stand up for their beliefs. They will not be rolled over by anybody, pretty much.
Oh God, no, absolutely not. And it's amazing. I just saw this amazing documentary about Hasidic Jews in New York that have this town that they've kind of taken over, and I think it's amazing. And I've actually had some friends that have visited it, and they said it was just so well run. Like the town is amazingly well run, and they said it would be a joy to live there, but they kind of want it to be their people in their spot. So, but have you ever seen that documentary?
No, I haven't. I don't think there's any town in this country where you can kind of like move everyone in and take it over. But I am.
Oh no, you need to see this documentary. I'll Google it for you and find the name.
I'm not going to believe a documentary. I would go up there with my own eyes. But
you should absolutely go up there with your own eyes. It's not taking over like. I'm not saying okay, so I might be using the wrong verbiage.
Yeah.
Not taking over, but well, see, it's taking over is a tough. I'm trying to think of a better word. They did take over a part of the city, and now they're in the entire The whole school board is Hasidic Jews. Everyone in the government is Hasidic Jew, except for I think like one or two people, including the mayor. It's not. I don't say it's like anything like they took it over, but they have kind of made a space for themselves. I guess would be the best way. And you should go up there. It's in upstate New York. And it's growing every year. It's amazing. They're doing so well. Their school system was kind of suffering at the time before, and now it's like they're flourishing. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. I mean, it's no different than say, the Amish in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, or like the Sons of Liberty and 3%ers up in Utah. Same thing.
Peter, this stable diffusion.
Yeah.
Is that your video? Is that live and then it distorts this way?
Yeah. So it uses video input. The one I'm using with Stable Diffusion is kind of under wraps because it's behind a Patreon. The dude that made that made the original Disco Walk notebook, which eventually got implemented officially into the Disco Diffusion notebook. So I've got like the comparison between the two, just sort of running it like close to base settings. The stable stuff seems more geometrically and pattern inclined in a nice kind of way, like the way that I actually want it to. I'm trying to prompt for like that sort of thing. But
So this is somebody else showing us this video? Sure. Is this somebody else's video? Is this yours?
I'm not sure which video this is.
Oh, it's
all the stuff on my profile is I've recorded.
It's walking down a kitchen and pouring a glass of wine.
Oh yeah, that was me. That was just after a big night out with mates, and I'm still awake working on projects because I don't sleep. I just work when I can, of course. But yeah, so that was just like a little simple video I recorded. I wanted to run through this sort of stuff because I got a sort of bigger project in mind, sort of trying to depict like the psychedelic experience in like a music video form. So a lot of little clips like that.
And it does look very mushroomy. Mushroom living.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, it feels weird using this sort of tech to try to recreate that kind of experience visually, but it just lends itself to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for it. That's kind of like why I got into it in the first place. I mean, all the other stuff is just fun, like all the images I post and all that kind of stuff. I'm just having fun with it, but it's always been about trying to make like music videos and recreate that kind of like what you can't really put to words.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, Peter, what is your favorite one to use? I'm still on
Man, I don't even know. I don't even know. There's so all of them are like, they all have different flavors and they're all great for different things. So it's kind of it depends on what I'm trying to achieve, I guess, and I'm still trying to work out which ones are best for what. But I'm sort of starting to get a bit of a feel for that. So I'm bouncing around between disco and stable mainly, but then sometimes like even DALI, I'll pop over there and use that for certain things. But I really, really don't like the pricing structure of DALI. It's like it should be criminal to do that sort of thing when stuff like Stable was open source. I mean, pricing is one thing. Midjourney have a great sort of model where it's like $30 a month and you got unlimited generations. And then DALI's got like, it's $15, I think, for like 115 tokens. And each one is one generation, and that could easily go away in like an hour.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. I mean, that's just crazy. So collectively, you end up paying like over $100 a month for all this.
Oh, I spend way more than that personally.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that's because I rent servers and stuff to run this stuff faster and like have better results with quality and things like that. And because Google Colab is free to use, but then they have limitations and things on the free users, so I pay for that. Then I take it over to Vast AI so I can run with a lot more like video memory for like higher resolution stuff. It's just, yeah, it all adds up. I spend a lot of money on it, and it's just like, some people spend money on cars. I spend money on this.
That sounds good.
If it wasn't this, it'd be music, like plugins and things like that, or just general drawing equipment. Like I'm always just spending money on art related stuff, so it's not really a big deal to me. I'm fine with that. But for other people, I can see that being like a point of well, I don't want to spend the money. I think that's the beauty of Stable, is you don't really have to spend money. You can run this stuff for free, and it's pretty damn good on the for what you can do for free.
Oh yeah, it's definitely exciting from what I've seen so far. It's pretty remarkable. I gotta get cleaning up around here. I'm gonna be talking and cleaning. I hope you don't mind if I inadvertently forget to like mute myself and you hear a bunch of noise. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm drinking an energy drink at the moment because I've been drinking wine this morning to cure my hangover, but now I'm on the energy drink, so hopefully I will be getting onto cleaning myself soon. I've talked with Mike about it. He sort of suggested I might make a thing with his assistance and guidance and whatever to sort of help everyone get onto Stable, because it is a bit of a fuck around, but once you're there, you can just use it all for free. And that's the best thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check it out. That sounds pretty cool. Well, I'm gonna check out for the time being. Mike, thank you for hosting this. Melody, everybody, nice to see you. I'll see y'all soon.
I see you soon. Later. Later. But what are you doing over there, Mike? You said you're drinking some wine, Peter?
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Hey, Mike.
Catching up drinking wine.
Hey, Peter, dude. So my PFP is fan art from someone that took our project my PFP that I use normally and redid it.
How good is that? I love that. That's just a thing now. You can just remix images like that. It's fucking
Yeah, they
amazing.
provided me a remix. Like in a long time ago, used to send remix CDs to people, and this is like the new thing, and it's amazing. It's way better than the original, so I love it. And we actually are using AI for all our for our 300 mint. We're using AI to make the bees. We actually use Midjourney, and the ones that we had originally were too dark, and now they've didn't seem like a financial instrument kind of picture. But now we have these amazing gold ones that are pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I know Midjourney updated their system, so they're running with Stable Diffusion alongside their own whatever it is they do. They're a closed model and closed platform, so we don't really know what the fuck it is they do. But they're incorporating Stable Diffusion as well as all these new updates they're making. Are just actually amazing.
I just sent you one of the bees that we're using for our project.
I'll have a get. Dude, that's awesome. That is actually awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, our founder actually spent a lot of time just doing it, coming up with different wording, and then picking out we made 5,000, and we picked the best 300.
Oh yeah, it's such a time consuming thing actually curating them when you got one. Because I did a batch on one image that I was using as an initial image, and I got hundreds and hundreds. I think I got something like 2,000 images out of it, and there's maybe 40, 50 that I picked out that I really like. And I'm still thinking about maybe I'll just take those and turn it into a composite.
Yeah,
instead of
dude,
trying to do a series.
It seems like this is a new wave for so I used to do music with my friend. He passed away, so I kind of stopped doing it. We used to use Propeller Head Reason, and we would make a bunch of songs, and then we would take the best parts of each song and then put them together into a song. And we did that, and this seems like that's the new wave of this, like mixing music, and now we're gonna be able to mix art, which is just an amazing thing. I mean, I think it's. I don't hope people don't like think it's not art because it's not. You know, it takes a lot of work to do. It's not just like make me a picture of a bee and then you just and then boom, a perfect bee comes out because it's not like Star Trek.
I mean, it's like it's almost there at that point, but it's still not like an artistic bee or like the specific bee you want until you start diving in on the prompt and really specifying and finding out how the actual things respond to your language. And it becomes a process in itself, just getting a perfect image straight out of it. If you can even do that, like that's the
Oh
fucking
yeah,
hardest part.
dude. I
And
think
then,
it'll
you
actually
know, I mean,
become a skill. I think people will start doing classes on how to do it, like the right wording and stuff like that. I think it'll get better and better, and there'll be like a niche kind of market where people make specialty AI art.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sort of I've got my little tap ins there because of my little exposure moment. So that led to bigger opportunities that I'm kind of sitting and waiting on to see if they actually come to life. But, you know, I've done that work with very, very large artists. And I think once that sort of breaches that surface, the market's going to explode for it. And I have very solid reason to believe that. I mean, you talk hip hop culture,
Are you
they're always
talking?
on the
Have you
forefront.
talked to Axum? Do you know AXM?
No, I don't know him specifically.
Oh, geez, you gotta introduce. I'll introduce you to AXM. DM me. I'll introduce him. He's a world-renowned artist, and he just doxed himself recently. He's been here for a while, but he was like under a pseudonym, and he's in like the Met and all kinds of different galleries and stuff all across the world.
Fuck yeah. I'd love to make that connection just because
Plus,
I
he's
love
a
meeting people and talking to people
dude.
about this stuff,
He's
you know?
such a cool dude. He makes these visual art pieces that like would be a key instead of So when we go to the next level of computing, when crypto whatever what is it? I can't remember the name. But when we go in this new light wave computers, there's going to be a way to have to lock things, and it's actually going to have to be like a 4D puzzle where we lock it with a visual key instead of code key. And he makes those code keys, and his first one was in the Met. It was at the Met. So he has like the first 3D artwork, that a 4D artwork that was at the Met. So pretty cool. And he's a
That's pretty
really,
fucking unreal.
really cool dude.
Oh yeah, I'll DM you about that. But yeah, it's sort of like you were saying, there's definitely going to be a market about you know, just prompting even because like when I moved over from Disco to Fusion, which I started to understand really well in terms of prompting, in the short amount of time I spent with it, I was starting to actually get like the sort of outputs I really liked. I was starting to get like an art style that I really liked. Um, then Stable came along, and I was like, well, I have to play with this because this is the new tech, and everyone's getting on it. Not like jumping on it because it's a trend, but because if I don't, I'm going to get left behind in the old ways, which is fine as well. But like, I'm trying to be on the forefront as much as I can so that I can. I guess like my mission as like a individual artist is kind of less trying to make it big, but just trying to like show off all this cool stuff and like do with it what I can to sort of
I think
not.
what's going to happen is pedals. Do you know what I mean? Like for music, there will be pedals that will be AI pedals that you can add to. They'll probably be open source, and people will start adding these pedals to the first AI company, like Midjourney, right? They've kind of open sourced a little bit. Like they're starting to talk about it. And if they do that, then it will grow immensely because people will be able to make like outside pedals for it, quote unquote pedal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like you're seeing that with Stable Diffusion right now, where all these different platforms are jumping on its model, but then using it in their own way and muddying it up a bit so it doesn't all look like pure stable. At this point, who the fuck knows what pure stable is? We just know it creates good images. And
Stable, is it a new one? I haven't heard of Stable. Could you send me
yeah,
the link on that too?
absolutely. I'll send that through as well. Just give me a minute because I'll just quickly speak about it first and then I'll dive in when I'm not talking. So Stability AI created a model called Stable Diffusion, which is pretty much sort of on par with like DALL-E and Midjourney. On par as in, you know, it still does its own thing. It's got its own strengths and weaknesses. It's not quite DALL-E 2. It's not quite Midjourney, but it's its own thing. But they went fully open source, so they just fully chucked it out there, like, and pushed it out to the world. Even though they got their own little platform that you can spend money on if you want to, just so that you have a nice web interface with, like, you know, access to hardware to run it. They they just push the model out there, open source, let all these other platforms use it how they want, and that's beautiful because that's just like pushing it all forward. There's a lot of backlash against it because there's people talking about how like, oh, you haven't implemented safety filters and stuff into your model, but it's like, well, and this is my argument, and this might sound a bit fucked up. If someone wants to create child porn, for example, and this is like the worst case sort of thing, like that everyone doesn't really want to speak about directly, but like, okay, if they want to create child porn with this stuff, there's already people out there drawing child porn with pen and paper. Like, are we going to fucking ban pen and paper because they're out there doing that? I mean, it's one of those things like, yeah, some people are just going to be fucked up and do that. And that's down to the platform to block them. And it's down for the police to deal with them. That's not up to the fucking people making the tools. That's not their problem. As far as I'm concerned, that is literally not their problem.
Yeah, are they going to sue the pencil company? The company that makes the pencil? No,
so it's kind of like, the pushback is always this weird kind of like, and it's happened before in the past, of course, you know, photography, 3D work, Photoshop, all that sort of stuff. It's this defensive mechanism against what we know and what we're comfortable with. But what I've noticed, and I'm really starting to pick up on, is that it doesn't seem to be little artists that are really fighting back. It's only these big artists speaking on behalf of little artists. Even the articles don't really talk to anyone that like doesn't really have recognition. They're only talking to people that have been like in the corporate world. And that's kind of disturbing.
Yeah, it is. It's just like the same thing that happened with Metallica. That Metallica was fighting for the little artist, but they really just want to protect their music so that they could keep making money.
I created a video called Peter and Melody. I put it at the top. I just sometimes play music in the background.
Peter and Melody sitting in a tree. Okay, that's what it sounded.
K-I-S-S. K-I-W-I. That spells kiwi. I don't know.
Let's see what this is. Oh, wow.
Because I'm going to start clipping up a lot of this stuff, like a lot of the really cool parts of the things you guys say, and then, you know, making it look kind of funky.
Just don't talk about my one chip challenge, please.
I think we did.
Don't.
Chip round buff.
Look, I'm not in charge. The AI chooses what to clip based on emotional analysis. So,
oh my god,
not even I'm in control anymore.
I'll look forward to clip on that.
Yeah, is there audio on this? There's audio in this. Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't even want to listen.
Yeah, I'll watch it after.
Yeah, Crypto, I'll send you those links through and stuff now. I'm just when I'm doing that, I'm gonna go quiet because I need to focus on one thing at a time, or I just absolutely can't do anything.
On, man.
I need a walkthrough. I want to walk through a hand holding. Peter, did you say
you might even call it an online date? Peter, you can get dressed up really nice. You can do your hair.
I'm going to sign off now.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And
then you can have a drink, and Mel can have a drink, and you can learn how to make. You can co-create.
I want
Dolly
and Wombo.
Did you say procreate?
Yeah, you can co-create together. You know, you prompt him, and he prompts you, and you both prompt each other together.
That's procreation, not co-creation.
Prompting on together. No. Now I'm about to rolling.
They see her rolling.
Riding dirty.
Riding dirty seems a bit dangerous.
I don't know. I do live on the edge. I guess I've lived on the edge.
Have you ever rode dirty? I have not.
Yeah, completely. Dirt bikes and ATVs and horses. You get dirty.
Riding dirt bikes. Yeah, that's the remix. I like it.
But riding dirty? Yeah, no comment.
Is that what happens when you like go to the corner store in the morning to get like cream for your coffee, and you haven't brushed your teeth or something like that? Is that what they mean?
Yep, that's
Oh my
exactly
God.
what I mean.
See, I was gonna say I can't when it's recorded, it's dangerous. No. Quite the opposite. It's less dangerous when it's recorded because I see that button, I stop talking. It stops
Yeah, same
recording.
here.
It
Wow.
stops.
So you're saying like the recording protects you from yourself or
Yeah,
protects
Yep.
us? Right.
no.
Yeah. Good point.
What it does is it filters myself. It's not that it protects me. I'm good with my behavior. I'm okay being dirty. But to be recorded being and behaving dirty, that's a
I
different
got
story.
censored. You guys, I got censored recently.
By who?
By the B Dow. I was telling
What
a
did I
story.
say?
I was telling a story on their show, and at the end of the show, they were like, at the story, they're like, you were fat shaming that person. I was like, no, I wasn't fat shaming that person. I wasn't. I was 21. I wasn't doing anything shaming whatsoever. I was just being myself, which is a douchebag. And there was no animosity toward it. It was just it was I didn't call anybody names or anything like that. All right, friggin' I have to tell you the story. I I was in Vegas and I was there with my fiance. She used to be my friend. We're not friends anymore. So she we were at Binion's Horseshoe, and I had at the time I had an amazing oh crap. Um
Low
I
job. It
pro-
was
no,
awesome.
I process calories really fast. Metabolism. I had an amazing metabolism, so I would eat like nonstop all day long, like no joke. And uh I had a 5 pack because she would make fun of me that I didn't have a full 6 pack because of I had a broken a rib when I was younger. Uh so I was at the Binion Horseshoe and I was eating a buffet and I no joke could eat for hours and just eat the whole time and stay there for hours. And I used to do it almost every day. I'd go eat at some buffet. So I was eating the buffet, and then I decided I wanted a dessert. And I go up to the dessert table, and there's a woman there that's of a bigger size than average, and she is looking intently at the desserts, trying to pick one. And I wait for her. And I'm behind her, because it's polite, and I'm trying to be polite. And I'm waiting behind her, and 15 minutes go by and I'm looking at desserts and she can't pick her dessert and she finally goes, oh, why don't you pick one at first? I just took one of each. There was like 20 of them. I put 2 trays, I put 20-inch desserts on it, brought it to my table and started eating. Julie, who was my friend then and not my fiance, goes, did you see what you just did? I'm like, what? I just grabbed the dessert. She goes, no, you just grabbed every dessert and you did it in front of that woman, and she was, trying to pick a dessert. I was like, well, so I mean, I'm not. I need a dessert. I mean, I want a dessert, so I grabbed the dessert. She goes, no, you grabbed all of them. She goes, you are going to eat every single one of those desserts. I'm like, obviously, that's why I grabbed them. And she, berated me for about an hour, explaining to me how I was being a fat shamer, and I wasn't. I was just grabbing dessert, and I was oblivious to it at the time. But I kind of look back and look at it, and I'm like, maybe I did something a little that wasn't, as cool as I should have could have been. But I wasn't fat shaming. I was just grabbing dessert.
The fat shaming is because you just picked 3 desserts in front of a fat person?
Oh no, I picked 15 desserts.
Oh. Wait, what?
2 full trays of desserts.
I'm just gonna go to bat for you and be like, "No, man, you can pick all, 15. What the fuck? Were you looking at her when you were putting the plates on the tray?"
No, it wasn't about her. It was about me getting one of each. Like I was
So you
gonna
were
have
like,
every
look,
dessert.
lady, look, I can get this one, I can get that one, I can get this one. Did you like cross them in front of
No,
her? What
no,
did
it
you
wasn't like that at all. It was no, I was a man on a mission. I just grabbed every one of. I just made sure I got one of each because I was gonna
so
try every dessert. I was
I'm
planning
so
on trying every
perplexed.
dessert.
I'm perplexed. So how are you fat shaming the lady?
Well, because she was trying to pick a dessert, and she was like really trying. Like she was very frustrated. Like she was trying to figure out which one that she could eat, which would not make her any change her situation as much as the others. So was just looking and looking. Like I don't even know if she was gonna eat a dessert. I think she was just looking at what she wasn't gonna eat. Like I guess she was trying to lose weight. But me being oblivious to the situations at the
Oh my
time.
God.
All right, so I'll tell you a better story. That's the same kind of thing because I was oblivious when I was younger.
How old are you now?
I'm 52. I sound
Oh,
like 12, but whatever. So I was 50. I'm 52. I was working at a amusement park when I was a kid, and my mother. I was probably about 17, and my mother would bring me lunch every day because she didn't want me eating the crap at the amusement park. Like it was just terrible food down there, and she didn't want me to eat that stuff. So she'd bring me sandwiches and all this stuff all the time. One sandwich she would bring me was this amazing sandwich called the gut bomb, and it was at from the store. It was every kind of meat they had and every kind of cheese they had, and they would take two sandwiches and cut the sandwiches in half, and that was the bread of the sandwich. It was almost a half a foot tall, and
what?
it was a little bit longer than a foot long. And most people would eat them. One they sold it in quarters, so most people would eat a quarter, but I would eat a whole one. And uh, so she brought me that, and this time for some reason my brother was there, so she brought two gut bombs, and there were two gut bombs there, and I was like, oh my god, there's two gut bombs and a 2 liter soda. So I'm eating the first gut bomb, and then I mean my brother's not around. He's working with me, but he's not there, so I can't find him. So I start eating the second gut bomb, and I'm crushing this second one. And this really big girl comes over to me and she goes, how do you stay skinny? And I look at the soda, and my mom had mistakenly got me diet soda. So I said, diet soda.
Oh my God. Oh my, that's funny. Diet sodas actually makes people fatter. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I know. I was just oblivious. I wasn't that cool. I wasn't being mean. I was hungry. I don't know. I used to eat like it was my job. I used to eat um me and my brother used to be like professional eaters before it was a sport.
Oh yeah.
I ate a pizza in 10 minutes, and then I had a box of fries on top of it.
Oh my God. Yeah, it sounds about right.
And no, I'm not fat. Till this day, I'm still not fat. I still have a pretty fast metabolism. Um, my brother not so lucky. Has slowed down quite a bit. He's not really overweight, but he's a little bit overweight.
It's
I
funny.
won't clip that. The amount of times I'm like, nope, don't clip that, Mike. All right, I won't.
If you turn the record off, I'd tell you other stories, but I can't tell you these
Yeah,
stories because I'm under my freaking
that's
Crypto
true.
PFP.
Yesterday was a pretty uncensored syndicate actually that I ran.
Oh my god, do one without records so I can tell you a story about the park where um I oh man, I'll give you a teaser. I ran the rotor and 15 kids vomited.
Oh God. What the fuck? No.
I can't tell you though. But on top of that, it was amplified through the entire amusement park because the mic was in our ride, so everyone in the park heard it.
Is this Hugh? Is that Hugh? Who are you? What's your name, Crypto?
My name's Ken.
Oh, Ken. Got it. Got it. Oh, hello.
Yeah, this is my palate cleanser space. I came in the other day and there was like someone was a co-host that was making everybody raise hands, and I had to leave.
We do that from time to time.
Yep, and those are days I won't be here. I can't. This is my palate. I do that all day long in spaces, so I'd rather just come here and jam. And if we interrupt each other a little bit, then no harm, no foul.
Well, within reason.
I don't yell at people or argue with people. I mean, I'm wrong about 99% of the time anyway. So that's what my fiance says.
Well, it's about to be 100% when you get married.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. She's too smart. She has an eidetic memory. So if I get in an argument, she'll bring up like 7 times that I had done the same thing wrong. Like, oh, and you remember when you did the same thing? You did it in Texas too, and you did it in Massachusetts, and you did it here. And I'm like, oh my god. So I actually just have to be a better man.
That's nice.
Yep, it's fun. No, she's awesome. She's just too smart.
Is that your previous friend, or is this a new
Yeah,
person?
that's my previous friend. I actually pined after this girl for 14 years.
Aw.
As we were friends, I always was in love with her, and she just said that I would be a terrible boyfriend. So therefore, we were just really, really good friends. And then I am I actually matured, and she realized it, and she's like, "Oh my God, you could actually be a decent boyfriend," and the rest is history.
How
Very
long?
cute.
How long have you been fiancé?
We've been together for like 11 years. Um, we were gonna get married, and I think we're gonna just get married, just get married. Like it's not anything like
You
it doesn't matter to us. We've had our license 3 times.
Wow. Mm.
It just
I'm
it
sorry.
like we're just together for life anyway, so it's just not. I don't know. We have a different. I don't know. I'm happy with her, and she's happy with me, and still do stupid stuff. Like just to give you an example, I went and bought a car without telling her just recently, and she was a little mad at me, but we got over it and we just move on.
Do you guys have kids?
She has a kid that I helped bring up since he was 6 months old.
So he's like a teenager now?
He is 29.
Oh wait,
That's
wow.
awesome to me, dude.
Known her since how old were you when you met her?
21? 21, I think. Yeah, 21.
Damn. You should be married, puppy. You should go ahead and fucking elope and get married.
We were gonna get married before, but her parents got really annoying about it, and we just kind of like let it go at the time. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till we do this mint so I can buy her a super nice ring, and then I'm going to ask her again.
Hmm. What?
Not a diamond though. She doesn't like diamonds. It's gonna be just some blue kind of thing. I'm not sure what stone it'll be.
Hmm. I don't know you, so I'm keeping my mouth shut.
No worries. Almost impossible to offend, so have at it.
No, it's not about offending. It's just about saying shit that might not sit well.
No. All good. No worries.
Yeah, you should have fucking married her a long time ago. Like this is a long
I get it. I'm not. Look,
time.
you're not. You're peach. We've done this before. Like I've
Like People leave people because of this shit, just so you know. Like some
Oh
people.
yeah, it's not like that. Like it's not me that's we've both done it. Like I got her she went and bugged me to go get a license once, and I bugged her to get a license once, and we are engaged now, and we just haven't got around to it. And it's not anything like that. Like we're I don't know, people say soulmates and stuff. I don't know. We're just lifelong partners, no matter what. Anyway, like ride or die.
That's cute.
Yeah, that's very cute. I thought I had that once. Turned out I was wrong. I thought I had that again. Turned out I was wrong. Not 11 years, though, put it that way. That's a long time. You're pretty, like, especially if you've known them since, like you're saying, you're getting on 50 now or whatever. If you've known them since you're like 21, yeah, that's pretty set, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, we are yeah, amazing relationship. Even though we fight sometimes, but it's very rare, and uh, it's usually some when I do something stupid.
Is it ever anything else like?
I don't know. It's just yeah, not really. Most of the time when I do something dumb, it's when it causes fights. Let me think. Anything that was. Oh, yeah, we had a fight before when one of her ex-boyfriends came into the picture trying to contact her and stuff. We had a little bit of fight about that, but it was all good. It was just
That's pretty natural, though. That happens a
yeah,
lot. Like, that's just
yeah,
standard.
yeah. It's all good. They were like friends, and then she finally realized that he's not really that cool, and it just I don't know. We've had fights over her son and stuff, and we've had fights over I don't know, not much fights really. Every once in a while, but more lately because of me being on spaces all the time. But she's not in the room, so
Get her into it as well. Fuck it. We can have
But
both sides of the argument.
no.
about
Yeah, she's gonna get into space. She's gonna do some. I'm gonna get her into some of these pro-feminist spaces because she loves talking about politics and she's very pro-feminism and she's an amazing speaker. So I definitely want to get her involved. She just calls it. Why don't you get off the phone? That's what she tells me.
all right. So what I
Yeah,
was
put
saying,
more focus on her, man.
most of the people that I know that have been together for more than 7 years, when when they end up getting married, they get divorced. I don't know what the statistics are on that
No
that.
wonder. Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah. Like I 5 people I can think of right now, they were together for more than 5 years actually. And then they decided to get married. They were engaged for this long or whatever, and then they got married and they were divorced within 2 years.
Ugh.
Yeah, but did
Yeah.
they know each other for like 30 years?
Well, right now, the one I thought these guys were gonna, beat the odds in that regard, but they're actually the husband just got an apartment. I'm like, fuck. They're
Wow.
they're gonna do this like we're gonna date each other. You live there and I live in the house. I'm like, are you? I mean,
No, that's not good for relationships.
That's, yeah, no.
their way. That means that they're on their way out. Like that's what that means to me.
Oh yeah, you are 100% right there.
Yeah. And I'm not wishing that upon you at all, but I'm just saying.
Oh no, no worries. Like I've done stuff like recently. I've been working. Okay, so for the last 30 years, I've worked at home and never really had jobs other than working. What I do is connect people in the business field and get paid for it. So she calls me. She goes, "All right, so you're making money." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "You know what? You got to get a job." And I was like, "I don't want to get a job." She goes, "You're underfoot." So I ended up having to get a job because she said that every time she would back up in the house, I'd be behind her. So she was like, "All right," and it's been great for our relationship actually.
Leaving the house, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. Before it was only to go play poker, and that wasn't good.
Are you here in the US?
Yeah, I'm in Maine.
Oh, cute. Um, I have family in Bangor, and
Oh, nice. Bangor is beautiful. I like Bangor.
she she just my sister was there for like 2 years. She just moved away like last month. She
Where'd she
moved.
go?
Well, Tennessee. My friend,
Oof.
lives in Tennessee, so she was living with it on up there. My dad's family.
Oh, right on. Yeah, Tennessee's okay. I've been to a lot of states, and I think Tennessee's nice. But Maine, I like Maine because Maine is really nice because it gets cold in the winter, and that's why people from Massachusetts don't stay here. So it becomes a really nice mellow place in the fall and the spring. Summer's a little odd, but the thing that I like about Maine is one amazing thing is travel here. If something is 1 mile away, that's 1 minute away. And that's not the case where you're like, I used to live in Houston, and that's not the case there. And I love that. Like, I'm 20 minutes away, that's 20 miles away. And
Yeah.
that's all the time. It doesn't matter if there's traffic or not. It's always that way. And I think that's an amazing thing. It makes you want to travel and move around your state, go out and do things. So I think it's pretty encouraging here. So I like Maine for that.
I hear you.
Hello.
Hi. I didn't see. Let's see.
Hey, you guys.
Bella?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Carrie, welcome.
I was gonna ask anyone, if you guys like know anything. Does anyone in here like know anything about like civil and criminal cases?
There's not an attorney in the house right now.
Like not really super like in depth, but like kind of like the basis of it, like the differences between criminal and civil, and like who's responsible for bringing those kinds of cases to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't really know much about that. That's not my expertise. I wouldn't feel good giving advice on that.
What state are you?
My advice would be get it from someone that would give you good advice.
Yeah.
It's not like necessarily specific to any states or anything. It's just mainly like overall like federal cases.
Well,
Kind of stuff, like,
this is the simple thing about it. If you're going with a party versus party, that's a civil case. And if you're dealing with the government, then you're talking criminal.
I'm a little lonely. You are. Oh, sorry, guys. My bad. Talking to my daughter. I apologize.
You're right.
Oh, no, you're
We
fine.
do have some people that are lawyers in here, but they're just not in here at the moment, I believe.
Damn.
It's a bit sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Does anyone know what the FCC is? Or
The Federal Communication Commission? Yeah. What's up with the FCC?
Okay. Do you know like about like policies regarding FCC?
Depends on what policy you're discussing.
Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Okay. I feel like you guys have been around and you guys saw this, but during live national coverage of a Super Bowl halftime show, Justin Timberlake tore off part of Janet Jackson's shirt, exposing her breast for 9/16 of a second. Television network CBS called it a wardrobe malfunction, but the malfunction coincidentally occurred just as Timberlake was singing the lyrics, "Gonna have you naked by the end of this song." The FCC fined CBS $550,000, but the network challenged the fine in court. The appeals court held CBS did not have to pay because the FCC did not have a clear policy on the momentary displays of nudity. If this incident was intentional, should CBS have known better regardless of FCC policies?
Are you studying law right now? Is that what you have a test we're helping you with?
Yes, please. I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
So what's
Yo, we can call up with test questions. Man, this is gonna be like my daughter's gonna love this.
yeah, what's
Mike, can you ping the lawyers?
Bella?
I can. So if the incident of, sorry, I'm a little high too, so this probably isn't helping me either.
Yeah.
I don't know why I get high and do homework, and I feel like that's the best time for me, and right now it isn't. But so my question was like, if he intentionally pulled the clothing from her and like allowed that nudity to happen, should CBS have known better? Should they have known better regardless of the FCC policy? So, um, should they have been fined? I guess.
CBS got fined by the FCC, and you're asking, should that have happened?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Is this against the law? I don't know. I don't,
What law school are you going to? And did Elle Woods go there?
I'm not going to a law school, but I am just.
Okay.
It's one of my classes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Sorry, I just wanted to. I'm not fucking brilliant or anything. That's what they do.
Well, let's think about this. So, what did you say? So it's CBS.
Yes.
And your question is, did the FCC have the right to sue CBS?
Yeah, to fine them for the nudity.
I would say they did, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, thank you.
If you swear,
wait. Yes, they should have been fined.
okay, yeah, I do think they would. And you're gonna say this. This answer is a subjective question anyway. So, I would say yeah, because if you swear on CBS and they still get fined, even though they didn't do the swearing. It's their responsibility to what do they call it? Damn it. They're responsible for what they produce, even though it's not them. Yeah, duty of care, but there's more to it. Oh man, it's a word. It's a friggin' lawyer term, and I just can't think of it. But it means that they have to. They're responsible for what they do for when they put out to the media, like put out to people. They're responsible for it. Just like if you swear in a football thing, like if someone really swears like blatantly in a football game, they can get a fine for that. So if there's nudity, then and it goes against their policy, FCC's policy, then yeah, they got fined. I don't think they got sued though. I thought they got fined.
Yeah, they got fined.
Yeah, absolutely. They got fined, and yeah, was the right thing to do, and that's probably why it stood up.
I think it's the only reason I'm having difficulty is because they're trying to determine whether or not the incident was accidental on purpose, and they're like saying that like the question is like, should they have been held accountable regardless of, or like if it was on a purpose or not?
I think they would get accountable for both, either way. But if it was on purpose, then Timberlake would be accountable as well, and so would Janet Jackson.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
That was the thing that went, wasn't it?
You're welcome.
Were you around, Bella, at that time?
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know what year that happened, so it's like really blurry. So I'm gonna like the year that Michael Jackson died, that happened, and all of that shit is really blurry to me. Like that's just the time that zoomed past in my life.
So I think that was 2000. That was 09 or 10 or something, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, I was in elementary school. Well, not
I wonder. My question is like, don't they even have a delay? Like, when did they start live delay? Do you guys know? Like when we started watching, when live wasn't live anymore, it was like, or has it been always that way? I don't think so. I think it changed.
Live delay?
Yeah, there's like a few seconds delay in live television. Any live broadcast has a delay in it.
Oh.
To catch this, to like, they can, so yeah, so even that's where I was going with it. My reasoning of like they're completely responsible for what is aired because they even have like technology that's that helps them, that assists them to catch things in that manner, in time. Make sense?
Yes, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was a freak though.
Like, I mean, he got into he explored the dark arts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, crypto. Sorry. One last one. John was in here in the other space when I asked this one, but this one is about criminal and civil cases. Lance, a hacker, stole 15,000 credit card numbers and sold them on the black market, making millions of dollars. Police caught Lance, and two legal actions followed, one civil and one criminal. Who would be responsible for bringing the civil case, and who would be responsible for bringing the criminal case?
The civil case would be the credit card company, and the criminal case would be the federal government. Would be my guess.
Okay, yeah. I'm just like going over these again just to make sure. And then the other two questions. What would be the outcome if the jury believed that Lance was responsible for identity theft, and what would the outcome be if the jury believed that Lance stole the numbers?
What?
Holy crap! So that's wicked complicated because you're talking about wire fraud. Like there could be interstate wire fraud involved in that. If he stole the numbers, one of the easiest cases to prove is interstate wire fraud. So, and then identity theft. You'd have to look up the year that happened because I don't even think there was separate cases for identity theft for just till recently. That might be a trick question.
Yeah, I was just about to say maybe that is a trick question. Like, oh well, they actually don't have a separate law for identity theft or whatever.
Yeah, you look up that case and find out the date of it, and then because now they do, but that doesn't mean. And by the way, these are shitty questions just for whoever wrote them.
That's why I'm asking for help because I'm having a.
No, these are terrible questions. These are so subjective, and the idea that any answer could be right or wrong is ludicrous. Like these are terribly written questions.
Luda.
Hey, hi Bella. Sorry, I don't even know what we're discussing.
Hello.
But can you
Wait? Hold on, Bella. Hold on, Bella. Where are you? Are you in California?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Because I'm trying to. I was just looking at your profile. I'm like, wait, where did we? Go ahead.
From the last space.
Yeah. Or no. I don't know if it was last space or when. I'm trying to figure it out.
I just heard crypto talk about wire fraud and cross-state wire fraud. But I'm missing all of the background. do you
Bella's
mind
taking
repeating
a
it?
test. Bella is taking a test right now. She's taking a.
Yeah, she's giving you a cheat for her.
Oh, fantastic! So we're doing cross-state cheating while discussing cross-state wire fraud. Okay.
Yeah, we're helping. We're
Listen,
absolutely helping.
We're
Bella out
crowdsourcing the answers. That's perfectly fine.
You got it.
We're swarming her test.
We're swarming
if you
her
guys
test.
help me,
Sure, go
then
ahead.
that would help me to understand
Wormhole.
once I have the answer.
What's the question again?
Okay. Lance, a hacker, he stole 15,000 credit card numbers and sold them on the black market, making millions of dollars from selling them. Police caught him, and two legal actions followed, one criminal and one civil. Who would be responsible for bringing the civil case, and who would be responsible for bringing the criminal case? And then there's two other ones.
Well, the criminal case would be the criminal case in this particular situation would be the FBI in the United States, right? So the criminal case would be a federal case because that's where credit card frauds of that size fall, unless it happens specifically inside the state jurisdiction. But if a hacker is involved and cybersecurity is involved, it's typically the FBI that comes into play. And it's typically a federal case. If it's happening in California, it will probably end up in I don't know which circuit it will end up, but it'll be a federal case. That's the one. As far as the civil case is concerned, the civil case would probably be it could be one of two things. It could be it would probably be brought up again by either the insurance company, so the underwriters of the credit card, and the second would be so it would be the underwriters of the credit card company or the credit card companies or a combination there. And the other possibility is a class action suit, but that class action suit would probably be from so the class action would sue the so it depends on who the hacker hacked to get that credit card information and how the insurance worked out. But typically, it would be the insurance company eventually, whoever was insuring against that fraud would want to recover that money.
Okay, yeah, that was exactly what Crypto was saying. And then we were also
Well,
talking
crypto
about
is a very smart person.
No, I'm not.
Well, okay, so at least two votes
you
for the
know a
same.
lot more than me though.
Two votes for the same answer. So it's you know what is the saying? Wise brains think alike, but fools sound the same.
Right on, dude. I'm just teasing. I'm just being a humble bee.
So I don't know whether we are sounding the same or whether we are thinking the same. So I would.
Crypto, you have a lot of B references.
Yeah, because I'm humble bee.
So, but that would be my semi-educated guess about it, and
Oh no, like I'm definitely using your answers, so it doesn't even matter. I'm gonna definitely I'm not gonna just completely cheat you guys. By the way, I do appreciate that. Yeah.
I can tell you that when it comes to examinations, I always got A's. So I do
Same
know how,
here.
but never did my homework, but always got A's or A pluses on my exam because I think I don't always give the answer that is the correct one. I think about the answer that the examiner is looking for and give that one.
Yep. Yeah, dude. I used to when I went to college, I just read the book and or read the notes, but never studied. Like I just read it over and over. Read it like 5 times, and I can memorize it. So I passed the
Yeah,
exam.
exactly.
I don't know
That's me. I
if
copy and fucking paste.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I am like admiring or being jealous. Like I can't decide because I can't remember shit whenever.
I'm definitely a copy paster. Like if the answers are exactly what they are and the fucking question if what we studied is exactly on the test, I'm flying colors 100% done with that because I literally copy and paste everything like mentally or whatever.
Well,
Okay, I feel like
yeah,
you would be able to help me with the FCC one too, the Janet Jackson nipple show.
right. What about it?
Okay, during live national coverage of a Super Bowl halftime show, Justin Timberlake tore off part of Janet Jackson's shirt, exposing her breasts for 9/16ths of a second. Television network CBS called it a wardrobe malfunction, but the malfunction coincidentally occurred just as Timberlake was singing the lyrics, "Gonna Have You Naked" by the end of the song. The FCC fined CBS $550,000, but the network challenged the fine in court. The appeals court held CBS did not have to pay because the FCC did not have a clear policy on momentary displays of nudity. So, like Crypto, when you were saying that.
So what's the
Never mind. You
question
said they
though?
should have been fined. Oh, okay. If it was intentional, should CBS have known better, regardless of the FCC policies?
The answer is no.
Whoa, you and Crypto are different. Crypto said they should have been fined, but you're saying they should.
They should not be fined.
You don't
I
think
will tell
so?
you. I will tell you why I say that they should not be fined. The reason because it's very difficult to set that bar, and that opens up a lot of that opens up uh, the gate to frivolous lawsuits, and who is to define what knowing better means, right? If there is no regulatory ruling on what that is, if then, and it is an arbitrary judgment of, okay, well, they should have known better, then now you are conflating a legal position with a moral position, and those two things are very, very like, and as a principle, jurisprudence stays away from taking a moral position without the presence of a judge and jury, right? So it's a very difficult thing to simply say CBS should have known better.
So I actually said it doesn't matter about the know better. They would get fined anyway because it's not about knowing better. It's actually about the act. So if you swear on TV, you get fined by FCC because the rule is you can't swear on TV. Just like the nudity rule is you can't show a breast on TV, so there's a fine. It has nothing to do with know better. I just think that the know better is actually a trick in the question and not be actually. I think it's being tricky.
Right. See, so the language matters, right? So you can probably even, if it's an essay answer, you can address that and say that the question here, as it's phrased, it has a tricky nuance to it. Should CBS have known better? And even if they did know better, would they admit to it? Um, or would they for plausible deniability, which is what they did, right?
Yeah, they
And
still got fined because of the nudity. It's not about. I think the know better is a tricky thing. Like it doesn't matter. Like if
right, and the other thing
That's
is,
another question though. That's like an entirely different question. So it's
yes,
like
and the question is, was CBS aware that Justin Timberlake would have that was a well, first of all, was that a planned thing? Number two,
Well, that
um,
that was a discussion that actually happened. All that what we're speaking actually was like was going on. People were like,
exactly.
"Oh, this was a full discussion back in 2004."
Yeah,
yeah, I don't remember
I
any of it
remember it.
either.
No, I remember it quite clearly. And the thing is that it's very difficult to say whether it was a planned thing. Then obviously she was supposed to have a pasty on her nipple because that was just enough to cover so it was definitely planned. Uh, but the pasty came off as well, and the nipple got exposed in addition, in addition to her entire boob as a whole, to steal a line from a movie, titty as a whole, or the nipple. But the thing is that at the end of the day, it was a planned act that had um, that had a that had a level of risk involved, and as CBS said, it was a wardrobe malfunction, and that may very well have been the correct thing, right? That they did plan to, I mean, think about
Okay.
someone doing like a reveal, or like a magic trick where they're like taking their clothes off and they're wearing a bikini, but all of a sudden the bikini comes off as well, right? So I think that there was a calculated risk. Would they have known better? No. I mean, sometimes accidents happened, and it's a, as Crypto said so correctly, the tricky part is, should they have known better, is a nuanced part of this question that you can address if it's an essay question.
Yes, thank you for the input. I'm thinking a lot right now. I'm just got a
Just
lot
write
running through my mind
just
about.
write an
Yeah.
answer, or
No,
if you
I'm
think,
just.
you see, okay, so
Here's
is this
test.
happening,
Is
where's the
this
examiner sitting? Do you know if the examination is
okay?
is happening inside
Is
California?
Oh no, it's not
enough?
timed. Like I can.
Yeah.
I don't think
Is this
anything specifically like matters like this. I don't think there's any guidelines in regards to states or anything. I think it's just like a general, just overall question.
Are you bubbling the answer or are you writing out the answer?
I'm writing this shit out.
Okay.
Would you say these are very subjective questions, Ahmad?
Yeah, it's like very
Well,
open
they are
to
subjective
interpretation.
questions, but I think that okay. So Bella, in what context are you taking this examination? What is the overall subject matter? What's the course? I mean, I just want to know where it's sitting.
Legal environment of business.
Legal environment of business?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, crypto.
This is
The
it's a
questions.
critical thinking course, really, right? Wouldn't you say?
Well,
I guess.
it is a critical thinking course, but if is this part of like your are you studying law or are you studying business? What's the tilt here?
Business.
Okay, so from a business perspective, the tilt would be to say, okay, it's a risk mitigation question. If it was a legal thing, then the answer would be like a little bit different. But the point is that you can
I don't think it just started like recently. So I don't think I think we're just going over the basis of legalities right now. I don't think we're going too in depth into
okay. So
specific
if you're
cases.
going on the basis of legality, then I would say that determining from a legal perspective, knowing better is a very difficult question to ask. The question would be, did CBS take reasonable precautions, understanding the risks that are involved in a in and were they was there a malicious intent to circumvent FCC rules, and that is the question, right? So and if there was malicious intent, then that has a different connotation that could versus whether it actually genuinely happened as an accident. So I would kind of go that way
Yeah,
with the answer.
crypto definitely said these questions were worded terribly.
Well, no, they're not because they're not because those are that is how you would come across questions in real life. People tend to ask very like people don't ask good questions in real life. They ask vague, open-ended questions on purpose because they're trying to find out whether or not they can take you down a path where their agenda is fulfilled. So having the skill set to break down these questions are not designed to figure out in real life. Questions are not designed only to figure out whether you know something or not. They're designed to trip you up. So this is a trip up question. And the addressing of that trip up is as a skill set. And that skill set is very, so I do find the questions to be interesting from that perspective.
I'm not saying, okay, so let me clarify. I did say it was like critical thinking, and I also said that it's a very tricky question. However, I just thought it was written poorly if it's a start of a class, and at the same time, I think I think you hit on the nail on the head. Where is this coming from? And it sounds like it's coming from a business side. Then it might just be liability that they're really discussing, right? Wouldn't you think that that's a possibility?
Liability and how to risk mitigation and where how businesses should take advantage of the legal infrastructure and jurisprudence and exactly that so I would think that that's how it's to be thought about.
That's always you made a great point earlier. When you're taking a test, you should always put yourself in the spot of the person that wrote the test and write the answers that you know as them would like have them motivate you to the right answer. Like, okay,
or
so
write a
this is
copy
what
of
my
the
teacher.
exam.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
way to do it too.
I mean there's a examinations have and why you're taking the exam and your own motivation the meta motivation has to drive your answers, not just the motivation. I can tell you a funny story later on once we've gone through this, where my meta motivation was to irritate the fuck out of my physics teacher. So I wrote my answers a very particular way in one of the exams. Almost.
You working out, Ahmed?
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
So you wrote a passive aggressive exam? Like you answered
I wrote a passive aggressive answer. I wrote
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome, dude. That's genius.
I think about doing that sometimes.
Oh, I actually did it, and I got called into the principal's office for it, and I argued for like they made me rewrite the exam, which I rewrote passive aggressively, and eventually got an A on it.
That's fucking amazing.
I failed a class with 100 grade because I pissed the teacher off so much that
Yeah,
she
I was
failed me
pissed
for
off
an A.
at that teacher too, but I tend to be very tenacious, and like kind of in their face. And that teacher was just an asshole, and he wasn't just an asshole to me. He was being an asshole to my friends. So I was like, okay, fuck you and the horse you rode in on,
You know,
because
what's really cool is you did it and you know that you knew the outcome, right? Because if you wrote it and then he failed you, you could argue it in the office and then the office would read it and then they would know that you were being a friggin' witty asshole. And then
yes,
they would make you
but they were
change
like,
it,
no.
right?
So my guidance counselor was, how could you, Ahmed, how could you do this? I'm like, well, my answer is correct, and the way. Okay, I don't know if you want me to tell you the story. There was one fucking question. That was a question that I did that on because I found the question to be completely. I had always argued with him about teaching fundamentals of physics rather than teaching us formulas. And he wanted us to remember formulas and apply formulas, and wanted us to like he had a very engineering mindset. Formulas and applying formulas is a very engineering thing to do, and it works in that world really, really well. You don't have to understand the underlying physics. You want to pick up the formula for that thing where the physics has already been worked out, and you apply the formula for let's say whatever it is that you're trying to build. But he brought that into a theoretical physics class. And it was a first year course, and I'm like, fuck you, why are you doing this? and he got really mad at me, so I was like, okay.
Dude, I had a teacher that was underestimating me in English, and we were doing a case where we had to be lawyers in a case to figure out if the case was I remember like it was yesterday. The case was the gentleman had grabbed someone's keys and to go drive his car, and we had to prove that he was either drunk or not drunk when he left with the car. And I came up with a way to prove it. And we did our trial and everything, and I asked for a directed judgment, and the teacher was like, "What? Yeah, I'm asking for a directed judgment." And he's like, "I go, you're the judge, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." I'd like a directed judgment. And I've proved beyond a shadow of doubt um that he was not drunk when he entered the car, and I would like you to give me a judgment that in that fact. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" So I pull out the friggin' law book and show him, and everyone in the class is laughing, and I lost the case because of that.
What? that's
Do you know
that's
are
hilarious.
familiar with a directed judgment?
I am. That's hilarious.
Because I asked for that. Everyone in the class ended up voting against me, but I was like, no, you're not supposed to vote now. You're not supposed to have a. You're not it's supposed to the jury. I've asked it for a directed judgment, and I showed him the proof, and and they just didn't understand it, so I lost anyway.
Well, but directed judgment basically says jury doesn't know what they're talking about. You understand jurisprudence better because you are the judge, and the judge can, overthrow. Um, the judge can overthrow a case because they understand. For example, if not enough evidence was presented from a legal perspective, from at a legal standard, but the jury got swayed because of some emotional persuasion that the or other factors. There could be like 1,000 different reasons why a judge may decide to do a directed judgment or either the defendant or the prosecutor may ask for it. Sorry, Biling.
But think about it, right? If you the teacher is the judge, right? And all the popular kids are the jury. And I go up to him and I do my case. And then I was like, I asked for a directed judgment, and he didn't know what it was. And I was like, oh, so you don't know what one is? And he's like, no, 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 hold on. And then he pulled up his book and learned what a directed judgment was. And then because I had made him look foolish, he said he wasn't going to do one. And then the jury voted against me.
Well, that's fun. Biling.
Yeah, so
Bilingual unicorn.
I think I'm glad we're talking about this because the judge makes the decision, what's good, what's bad, whether somebody goes to jail and for how long, right? And the point of a jury is to challenge the judge's rule based on what is, the truth. So when an innocent man is maybe sentenced, it's because maybe the jury wanted somebody to take the fall, regardless if it was true or not.
Are you taking away bilingual?
No, I was just saying, if you wanted to speak on, the judge and the jury.
Are you clicking away over there?
Oh yeah. I'm on my PC.
Are you playing a game?
I'm on my PC.
Does that mean you're playing a game on your PC? Hey, unicorn. Hey, you.
Unicorn has left us because.
Sorry, that was not on purpose.
No, I'm here.
The
Unicorn
has
has
taken
left
over
us
his
because. Unicorn has left us because the game is more interesting. But Bella, what's the next question?
Oh, right now, I'm just reading over I'm just thinking about what you guys said and just going over those answers in my head to come to my own conclusion, because I am supposed to be like putting in my
Yeah,
own
of
words and
course,
making my own.
of
But
course.
yeah, I just realized the state is the plaintiff in a criminal matter. So should have.
Oh, the state is the plaintiff in the criminal matter.
Yeah, so when it comes to criminal cases.
Yes, the state is the plaintiff. Well, no, the federal feds could be the plaintiffs as well. Uh, but depends on as if the hacker acted within the bounds of the state or whether they were doing something that was across state. So do look that up. Do look up who typically goes after financial fraud. Financial fraud is typically federal, especially if it goes into that amount, like millions of dollars. It's typically a federal case because it falls under FBI.
And if you use a bank and transfer money in a situation, they'll get you for wire fraud. It's one of the cases. It's one of the cases they pop right up, pretty much, right, Ahmed? Like,
Yeah, wire fraud is very. Oh yeah, I mean wire fraud is very easy to prosecute and go after. Right, it's one of the easier ones because those tend to be like the wedging or the opening door opening cases. Typically, when you go with a wire fraud or you go with a tax fraud or something like that, and then you start investigating, and in your investigation you find evidence of other things, but you just have to make sure that your initial case is rock solid. Otherwise everything else becomes like the fruit of a poisonous tree. So that's so you always start with simple things like wire fraud or like tax fraud. That's very easy to prove because just it's all just well documented. So here's crypto. Just one story deserves another. So I'll tell you the physics question that. So here was the physics question. Check this out. High school, right? Um. So the question was: estimate the height of a very tall skyscraper. Uh, you have access to a barometer, and you know use that to estimate the uh, height of the building. Okay.
wow, that's a dirty question. Holy hell, dude.
Okay. Okay. So the idea was the following, right? That you're supposed to use the barometric pressure equation. You're supposed to basically measure the air pressure at the bottom of the skyscraper and take it to the top and then measure it there and then use the pressure equations to figure out to estimate the height. Make sense?
It does.
Okay. Well, I didn't like that. So I said, you take the barometer up to the top of the building and you drop it and you count 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 until you see the barometer hit the ground. And you use that along with the equations of motion and using the gravitational the g for acceleration 9.8 meters per second square, and you estimate the height you get with that, and you will get it plus or minus because of the human understanding of seconds. You can get it plus. You can actually get better accuracy
The
of the
barometer.
estimate.
Oh my
The
god, dude.
barometer breaks, but I mean that's a perfectly good use of the barometer, right?
Yeah, it's one use.
Yeah, but I mean that's all. Nobody said don't break the barometer.
Oh my god, dude, your teacher hated you, and probably
My
hates you
teacher
to this day.
hated me, and this was literally his argument. He's like, he broke the barometer. I'm like, oh, I said, oh well, okay, you don't want to break the barometer. I said, find a rope, tie it to the barometer. This was my second attempt at the, and you know,
Oh my
just
god, your teacher hated you. Okay, so I told you about that teacher that
the length of the rope is approximately equal to the height of the building.
dude, that teacher hates you to the day he died.
Oh, he totally did because I said physics. I said that's physics. Like that's how you do the measurement has nothing to do with estimating. And I proved that my estimates were actually much better than the estimates that you would get by measuring pressure, because the pressure change in the height of a skyscraper is not enough to give you an accurate height measurement. You need like pressure change for an airplane flying up in the 50,000 feet. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. But for a height of a fucking building that's like 100-story high, then no, your barometer, that's the worst use of the barometer. It's
Yeah,
it's
barometer would
it's
have.
complicated. It's complicated for no reason.
Yeah, but what? Wait a minute though. If what barometer is so accurate that you can use that? Like, it's some special
Well,
barometer
I
that.
broke it, so we don't really know.
Yeah, I guess so. So I had this class, right? And this English teacher, she really annoyed the hell out of me. She started like I didn't like going to school, so I would just go into when they took the tests. And so she wanted to screw me up, so she started doing daily quizzes. So I read a lot of books, so we would, it would be a quiz about what book we were reading. So I got really annoyed because she started doing quizzes. So I missed like 4 days of school, and I come in and she's like, "Oh, you got 4 points off your yearly grade average." I was like, "What?" She goes, "You missed 4 quizzes." I was like, "Oh, okay, I get you." So I went to the next day. I came in to take the quiz. I met with all the kids in front before we went to class, and I explained to them if it was a yes question, I would put my pen on the left side of my desk, and if it was a no question, I would put my pen on the right side of the desk. So I like got it so that the entire class got 100 on the quiz, and I did that for like 5 days in a row. And I was like, and she couldn't figure out how I was doing because I was changing it every day. And she comes in and she's like, "So everybody got another 100 on the quiz, so, and I can't figure out what's going. Like you guys, but when we talk about it, it doesn't seem like you know everything." She was like, "These quizzes aren't working," so I got rid of the quizzes.
Well, that's brilliant. But sorry, but Bella and Bilingual were trying to say something. Bilingual, what's up, man?
What is your? I heard you say the poisonous fruit from a tree or something. Or the what is it? Yeah, the poison
Fruit
from
of the poisonous tree.
fruit of a poisonous tree. What does that mean to you?
It doesn't mean anything to me. That is a
It's a
concept in
legal term.
jurisprudence.
Well, okay,
That's a legal term.
it's a legal
And
term.
and
What
yeah,
legal term is that though?
so the idea is that let's say the police does a search of my house and without a warrant, and they find evidence of all sorts of different crimes, and they try to prosecute me against those crimes. The thing is, their finding of those crimes, the evidence that they found was a fruit of a poisonous tree. The initial search was illegal, so everything they found gets thrown out because out of the court, because if they were because the initial act on their part was illegal, nothing that they did after that is admissible. That's the general principle. There are some nuances to it, but that's the general principle.
Have you guys had any bad experiences with the law? I mean, like, have you guys ever been arrested before, wrongfully arrested or something?
Why do you ask?
I don't. I mean, just this fruit of a poisonous tree thing. Regarding that they found a bunch of shit on you,
No,
and
I was just giving that
just because.
as an example.
But yeah, but what I'm
In the
saying,
second person, I
like,
could have given
you
it
say
in
your
the
teacher
third
hated you.
person.
You know how your teacher hated you though. I feel like, well, does that mean that you're a bad student?
No, just
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
let's
necessarily
stay
mean
to
you're
the
a bad
question that you
student.
were
It doesn't
asking.
necessarily mean that you're a bad student.
No, but
And
let's just stay to the question that was
if you
asked.
ever broke the law, does that mean that you're a bad person? Not
No,
necessarily.
I don't understand the direction of the question. You
I'm just
asked me a very personal question. That's what got me very. That's what made me
yeah.
very
I just
defensive.
I mean, because I've been listening to you, and it is a personal. Like, I mean, your teacher hating you, is that not personal?
That is a story that I chose to share. But
Right,
you're
but
asking me a
that's a
very
personal.
personal question
But that's a
that
personal thing of your life. I'm just listening. I'm just listening to you, and so I just ask a question.
yes, but just because I chose to share one aspect of my life, right?
Okay,
That the
but yeah, I
question is
mean,
very that
I guess
the question you
you
asked
don't like
was
the
very
question.
rude.
You don't like the question. It's okay. You don't have to
No,
answer.
no, no. The question you asked, no, no, no. It has nothing to do with me liking or not. The question you asked was very rude.
No, you
So
shared
without
you
context. So
shared
can
a
you
you
please give
shared
me
a
the context?
yes, you shared a personal story that your teacher hated you. I asked the question, you know, have you ever had a bad run-in with authority?
I
It's
have
a very valid question. It's a very valid question.
no.
You
It's
don't have
Just
to
because
answer it.
it's valid doesn't mean it's not rude. Like,
no.
I
so
was I'm not trying to be rude. I mean, I'm just asked the question. That's all.
the better way to do that would be, I mean,
So I mean, the fact that you feel some type of way about it means that you are maybe in a wrong state of mind.
Oh
Because it's just a
wow,
question. I just asked the question.
wow! Did you just tell me that
oh, you
my
just told
state of
me.
mind is a direct is right or wrong because I was defending my
Yes, because
boundary?
you were defensive
I'm
about your
defending
answer.
my personal boundary with you, sir.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great. But
And that is
the
not
fact that you
that.
feel the fact that you feel like I was rude to you means that I was just asking a question. So if you think I was rude for asking a question, because I've been listening to you very respectfully, and I'm just asking you a simple question based on what you're saying. So the fact that you feel some type of way about it, it means that you know whatever, man. I don't want to dive too deep into it because I'm not trying to dive too deep into your personal life, but
I don't want. So that's hilarious, by the way. Okay, I do understand. I understand the spirit in which you asked the question. I don't. But that's like when you said, "I don't want to dive too deep into your personal life." But hey, man, were you ever arrested? Or hey, man, what's your bank account balance right now? Hey, man, when was the last time you slept with your wife? All those questions kind of lie in that very, very personal space. And you're
but
just saying,
those
well,
questions aren't
but,
valid.
but but I do understand the spirit of your question. So yes, in the spirit of in the spirit that it was asked, the answer is no. I have not ever been arrested, and nor have I ever been in trouble with law. Hopefully, that addresses whatever subsequent train of thought you had.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's all you had to say. I don't know
Well,
why
no, I didn't
you
have
made
to
a big
say
thing that.
anything. No, 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 no. This is what you don't understand. Your question did not actually deserve an answer. Your question deserved me telling you to butt out.
I
But
disagree. I disagree.
no,
I
well,
disagree.
then that
And
means that
I
you
can say
don't
this is why.
understand personal
No,
boundaries,
this is
sir.
why your teacher hated you, man, for a reason.
N-
Maybe because you're
Oh,
intelligent.
thank
I
you
don't know
very
if you're
much.
intelligent.
My
I don't
teacher's
know
hatred of
because
me
you're
has nothing to do
intelligent.
with
Yes, it
me.
does. Yes, it does.
No, my teacher's
Yes, it
hatred
does.
of me has everything to do with the teacher.
No, it
The
doesn't.
hate is an emotion.
No, it
No,
is
no,
you.
no,
It's
no, no,
you as a
no.
person.
No, now you've said your piece. Now hear me out. Your every person's emotions are their own problem, right? And the boundary is set by simply saying, not that for example, I will not say to you, do not ask me that question. I will say to you, I am not willing to answer that question. I'm not trying to control your actions. I'm simply telling you how
But
I
why
will
not?
act
Why
on
not?
that question.
Why not?
Because
I mean, you could say, "Don't ask me that question." Why not?
no, I know that would be a problematic
But it's okay
statement.
though. It's okay if that's how you
No,
feel.
no. If you think that's okay, you really need to step back and see
So,
how you interact with other
so
human
you're saying
beings.
your teacher hating you for whatever reason is because
That's their
was your
problem.
teacher racist? Was your teacher racist?
No, I don't know, and I don't care.
Did your teacher dislike any other students equally,
I
or
don't
or
know, and I
or
don't
was it the
care.
fact that you are
But
the
those
type of person
questions
that you?
don't. But you see, those questions seem to matter to you because you think that
No, they
my
don't matter. They
that.
don't matter to me. They don't matter to me.
But but you seem to think that those would matter to me somehow.
Well,
whatever
they don't matter to me. They don't matter to me.
whatever that person's
If they matter to
opinion
you.
was of any other person has nothing to do with me.
Well, here's the truth of the situation. You shared a personal story with us. I listened to you respectfully. You said your teacher didn't like you. You were talking about, the judge and the jury. I said, well, because your teacher didn't like you, have you ever had a problem with authority? You could say whatever you want, whether you want to answer that question or not. And it's completely okay because it's maybe personal to you. But I want to know why not.
Okay, well, you're curious about it, but you don't always get the answers that you're looking for, my friend.
And I don't care. I don't care about the answer. I was just asking a simple question. And the fact that you blew it out of proportion just means that maybe there's something deeper here for you, man.
All I did was set a boundary. And if
And all I did was ask a simple question.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Okay,
fair.
so
I take that.
But let me ask a question. Doesn't it seem like you're saying that teachers are a source of authority? Like I don't see the connection because
yes, aren't teachers a an authority figure?
no, I don't think so. I would disagree. I think authority and learning
Well, of
and
course they are.
teaching is not the
They
same
put
thing.
you on timeout. They discipline you when they need to. You have to
I would agree
respect
that
them.
they are authority figures.
Thank you. Yes.
Not in like
I would agree
the
that
sense of like they
I would
hold
agree that
like
teachers
laws
are
or
authority
anything like
figures.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, you could get in trouble for truancy
It
by
depends on
them
the age
saying
too,
you're not a.
right, Crypto?
Yeah.
I would say depending on the age because
Yeah, it depends on
in
the
my
age. Like,
school,
especially if you're very young or if you're in high school, teachers can really fuck you up. Like teachers can teachers can change the course of your life. They have power over you, and that can be detrimental. No, absolutely. I
I
would
would say
agree with
some. I
Bella.
mean, but it depends on the situation because I went to a different kind of school in high school, and in our high school we actually had like the teachers didn't do any
Okay.
of that
I
at
agree. I
all.
agree that teachers can fuck you up because they're an authority figure. But your parents can also change your life also in many
Oh
different.
God, yes.
Absolutely.
So in so many ways.
Hey, Ahmed, would you be able to like? You seem very knowledgeable on law terminology or business terminology. Would you be able to
What's up?
like? Would you be able to simplify the definition of stare decisis for me?
Simplify the definition of what?
Stare decisis. It's like a doctrine.
Oh yes. Oh God. Well, a little bit. Hold on. I have access to someone who might be able to do a better job. Let me just message them, see if they're up. He's actually so there's a friend of mine who is a Supreme Court lawyer, and
Hmm.
he might actually be up right now. Let me text him,
Thank you.
and I'll see what he has to say.
I don't know. Sometimes she'll explain it and I don't really catch it, and it's like not having that comprehension can really fuck you up like later on when it's like a question where it's like a story question and like, oh, how would this doctrine be applied to this situation? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I have no clue.
Okay, so um do you understand the basics of jurisprudence? Like, what is the entire idea behind jurisprudence or
I
precedent?
oh presidents a
Precedent, precedent.
precedents. Yeah.
Right. So the idea is this: that in order to keep things fair, let's say there is a situation that is similar to a previous situation, right? So
Hmm.
what you want to be able to say is, generally speaking, that if a precedent is there's if two situations are identical, right? then the precedent, let's say I stole a purse in New York City and I was caught, and I was given a 30-day jail sentence because there were 4 witnesses, and and I was thrown in jail. Another person for 30 days. Another person gets caught, has 4 witnesses. What punishment should they receive? Well, in that particular case, the precedent is applied, right? It's a binding precedent because
Oh, so it's like
Ahmed,
basically it sets the standards for the rest of how they'll treat that case or that
correct,
situation. Okay.
correct. So
Okay. I'm starting to
there's
get it a little
levels.
bit more now.
There's levels, right? So in applied precedent, what you have is if situation is pretty much identical, then the precedent is binding. So the judge has to follow the same thing.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
So basically
If
applying the
the
same punishment to the crime
or the
or
same
similar punishment
treatment
to
or
the
the
crime.
same level of okay, so now here's the other situation, right? So let's say there was another person stole a purse, but prior to that, there were no eyewitnesses or no one came to corroborate, but there was cameras, right? Now the question is the camera equivalent of an eyewitness? And if in that case and if that's the case, because it's easy to persuade that a camera or a video is either as good as 4 eyewitnesses or better, right? So it is then, and that's the first case the cameras were used, then that is persuasive enough. So the precedent is adopted and encompasses now the camera cases as well. Does that make sense?
So
So,
okay, so you're saying
right. So,
that like different situations, but
but
they get the different kind of evidence from the same kind of situation.
yeah, but the underpinning principle is the same. So the underpinning principle stays the same, but the previous decision applied to one situation, but this another more esoteric example would be, what about what is the underlying principle of, let's say if I don't steal a purse, but I end up stealing some other type of property, or if I end up causing you equivalent damage, right? For example, did you sue me not because your property got stolen, but you sued me because in there was your car, okay, here's a situation. Um, let's say that your car keys were in your purse, right? And you were trying to get your someone to the hospital, and that person died because they could not get to the hospital because I stole your purse. So the question is, am I being charged with theft, or am I being charged with second degree manslaughter?
Oh, I think
Which
I
principle
get what you're saying.
applies? Which principle applies? I did not know that
So it'd just be
going to
death theft.
I was going to cause death. But the
So
thing is, if you get into a car accident and you're a drunk driver, you do not know that you caused a car accident, or if you were speeding or something like that, and you then that's still second degree manslaughter under certain jurisprudence. And the question is, which principle applies? How will the judge, the prosecutor may say, well, it's second, we are charging them with second degree manslaughter, even though they just stole a purse, because the
oh,
principle.
okay, wait, are you saying that there's like two possible, like, well, not two, only two, but like there's different possible outcomes for one specific action that's
Right.
taken?
And the question is, which one will the prosecutor pick, or which one will the
Okay.
judge see? But typically in the United States, it would be the prosecutor. If it was in France, then the judge would decide which principle applies. If it's egregious enough, if it's grievous enough, then the judge may say, well, I don't, the prosecutor didn't do a good enough job, and will probably within the limitations of the,
Would
it
you want
depends
that
on
to
the
go to
judge.
jury? Would you prefer that to go to jury?
Well, yeah, but the thing, potentially, but that comes much later, right? Bilingual unicorn, like the judge may decide, because before even goes to jury, it might go to, depending on the severity of the crime and the situation, but at the end of the day, uh,
So my
which
question is, has it ever been the case that a jury is biased, or like that the jury may punish an innocent man?
Oh yeah, that has been the case in many times, and the judge may decide, and that's where the previous term comes, right? Where the judge may simply do a judgment, irrespective of what the jury decided. So
Case
sorry,
by case by case, then.
Melly B, go ahead.
I, I think I'm bored with the conversation. Sorry. I'm so bored.
Okay,
So,
sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
bored.
That's
I'm bored.
that's
Let's talk
very
about
boring.
funny.
this.
So
That's hilarious. Okay,
fucking
let's talk about.
boring.
Okay,
Hey, Melody, if
let's
you're
spice
bored,
it up.
DM me.
Let's spice it up.
Let's spice
We
it up.
we should we should bring in some Kardashian conversation into this and use the Kardashians as examples of legal precedent.
No, I don't want to talk
Yeah,
about
Kim Kardashian was
Well,
supposed to be a
I'm
lawyer.
just
We can't
messing
just
with you,
Kim
Kardashian.
Melody.
Kardashian a lawyer.
I'm
That's
just messing
perfect.
with you. I'm just
like if
messing
a
with you.
Kardashian became the female president, how would things be different?
Uh,
Bilingual.
I,
I'm not. I'm
I'm
not.
leaving the country.
I'm not.
On that,
No. 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 No.
I'm leaving the country.
Bilingual.
Well,
Bilingual. You're not.
research show that judges give harsher punishments right before their lunch time when they have the hungry stomach than in the morning.
That
And if
makes a
you
lot
Yep.
of
have
sense because I would
cleavage,
also do that.
if you have cleavage, that'll probably help. Or the big booty, showing somewhere. Like,
Someone
The
should have gave them a
female
Mm.
judge
Snickers.
or the male judge?
I don't know. I
It
just
Yeah,
depends on.
if you got some assets, the male
Emphasis on
judge
ass.
will
On
give you a
top of
break.
it, isn't it very important that every single judge should have a psychology degree? Psychology means knowing about human beings, and there's so many different type of psychological disorders that they should be aware of. There are psychopaths out there. They're very intelligent and they have very high capability of manipulating people, including judges. All the judges become they have the they have the law degree and all those upper level masters and PhDs and everything. They should have a psychology degree because they're dealing with humans in a very
Oh,
sensitive
you're
subject.
asking for too much. You're asking for way too much. The world doesn't work like that. But we should talk about something else. Melly B, pick a subject.
well,
Why are you guys not outside on a Saturday night and hanging out here?
Melody,
Oh,
pick a subject, Melody.
wait.
pick a subject,
Someone
Melody.
has their hand up.
Pick
What's
a
the
winner.
question?
Hello, hi. Just been chiming in, listening into the space. I've just met all of you for the first time and been invited up to co-host with Sohu. And during that time, I've taken a power nap, and I woke myself up, and I was laughing. And I was wondering why I was laughing, and then I went back through my power nap, and Melly B asked if someone was ticking. I think at that stage. There was a few conversations going on. I think someone was politely and intrigued and sort of relating with something that what someone was saying, and they asked a question and they triggered someone, I think, and that conversation went full circle, and now we are here. So
Who
yeah,
got who got triggered?
hello.
I
Who got
think I
triggered?
got triggered. I think
I
I
don't know.
got triggered.
I have no idea. I'm just trying to tell you what happened during my power nap.
I like
I'm not
it.
sure. And I saw a lot of responses back, so maybe I was on the right path there. But I was hearing discussions about things that relate to physics and quantum physics, and it's a really good vibe of a room, a space we've got going on here. So I asked Sayu to introduce me and put me up here, but I think he's busy.
Yeah, I just saw that message. Welcome to the madness.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I think it's Hamid. I'd really like to get to know Hamid a bit more. I have some things going on at the moment. I think he's dropped out now. Great.
Yeah, he just slipped out.
Yeah, but that's all good. So, and then Mel B brought it all around for an opportunity for me to slip in because she said she was bored. So yeah.
Hey, and if you're
I apologize,
hey
you guys.
Melody, if you get bored, just slide in my DMs and we can figure something out.
Okay, got it.
Not to disrespect, but are you sure that you want to talk about quantum physics like quarter to
Okay.
12 right now in the
Okay.
Saturday?
Thank you, because I heard your voice and I heard you because I wasn't looking at the icon. So GK, you were talking and mentioning something about psychopaths. Is that right? And you brought in the fact about psychology is important. An interesting thing that I've been sort of thinking about psychology at the moment, and psychology is generally done by a certain spectrum of humanity in order to define who they perceive as different to themselves. And the information that they gather within and the way they do it only allows them to capture the information on the psychopaths that you were talking about the serial killer, in a sense. They are only doing information, and the information that were sort of transpiring, I think, and I'm theorizing, that, and let me try and decode this in my mind so I can try and communicate it to you. The information that they have delivered to us are only on the psychopaths who get caught. So what about the ones that don't get caught? What about the ones that are still out there practicing it? There's also a theory on the super sociopath and how they actually contribute to our society as well. So I think it's an interesting topic, and it wasn't boring me as it was Mel B. I'm not sure if that was boring you though, Mel B. I think it was something else. But yeah,
No,
GK.
no. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
sure.
I
no.
honestly,
I enjoy how you actually opened up the subject. You articulated definitely better. And there's a certain behavior patterns that are observed over and over in this certain individuals. And by the psychologists who have been sort of studying about human behavior and psychology for many years. So if you like to bring more to the table, please go ahead. I would like to listen to you more.
can I ask something for everyone?
Go ahead. If we can start up a bit of a culture, if you're interested, say for example, GK was saying something, Mel B was saying something, so that we don't all end up talking over the top of one another. If you can throw your hand up, and then we'll try and continue the conversation flowing. If you do happen to see a hand go up, maybe try and wrap your point up, because someone's trying to relate to you when they put their hand up. They've got something to say. So maybe we can try something like that if that sounds interesting to everyone. Bella, what was your question?
Um, I was gonna ask if you guys like history or anything like that, or like just I don't know, because when GK was bringing up psychology and stuff like that, it was just making me think about like because I had recently seen a TikTok about this man who had found this book full of like photographs from I think it was around World War II, where Japan had committed atrocities against China and Chinese people, and I don't know, they did a lot of fucked up shit, and I feel like I don't know, that should be something that's studied, like how the psychology that lies within that, and like you know committing those atrocities against people in those ways.
You mean like in war?
So
Yeah,
I
no,
would like
that
to
yeah.
maybe go on YouTube and check this experiment called Milgram experiment that was actually experimented by two group of students, and the one group was only playing the victim. This is complete play, and the other group was playing the punisher, and they had buttons in front of them which was basically electrics that was hooked up to other groups' bodies, and the one being the tiny electric shock, and the 10 being the deadly. Okay, there was no electric shock. The other side was only playing, making, so pretending. So what the group was doing, pressing the number one and giving a little bit of electric shock to the other group, and they were pretending, making sad, I'm hurt, and the second and the third button and fourth button. There were people who were taking a joy out of pressing 8, 9, 10. These were just students, college students. How would they behave this way when they have the given the power? And when they
That's
were acting in a group, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I hear you on that one, and that's the spectrum of human nature. That's unfortunate. We were all. I think about that. I've been thinking about that, and someone once presented an image to me, and we were discussing some things, and completely changed my perception because we're born from a universe of chaos, but essentially in that chaos there is beauty, and essentially you witnessing or experiencing something like that in a certain manner, even if it's just a story, you can sometimes take yourself there and imagine it, and sort of imagine it, and then that gives birth to motivations. Now, whether you're a psychopath or what the academic society calls a psychopath, or the other type of people out there, I'm not going to go into too much of the names because I don't know them, but it creates a motivation within you. Now you can either be drawn to that or you can be repelled by it. And that's again the law of the universe we live in. As things gravitate towards us, we can orbit around them, we can essentially gain experiences from them, and then we can shoot off in other directions. So I see beauty in
When you
that,
think
in a
about,
sense, now in my life at the moment. Say again, GK.
I'm sorry, I thought you were done. Please go ahead.
Okay, were you sort of saying something when your mic was on? You didn't know.
You said you see the beauty all around the world.
Yeah, so essentially I'm trying to be objective, because personally when I hear a story like that, and stories of marketing analysts and scientists putting sensors onto babies' heads to see what activate them so we can sell more and learn about the brain and how we can manipulate it, it sickens me, and that motivates me to move in a different direction. So I understand a little bit more about the world I live in and where it's going, and it allows me to see it in a little bit of a different way, and perhaps maybe I'm not manipulated as much because I'm now aware of it. And that comes down to quantum physics. As soon as we entangle with something or see it, we've affected it, and it behaves differently. So essentially we can't see things in our natural state, and in human nature sometimes they try and hide things so we can't see them in our natural state, because as soon as we're aware of it, it changes our behavior. Melaby.
What do you mean natural state? What is the
Well,
unnatural state?
exactly. What is the unnatural state?
Well, what you're referring to right now, in simple.
When you say a natural state, do you mean like driving to be a part of a society and community that manipulate us at the same time we are craving to be accepted, because we humans are social creatures and we cannot make it without each other. We're always seeking for acceptance.
Yeah, that's a good point. And GK, we'll try and use our hands if we can, if you're okay with that, because I'm really enjoying what you have to say and what you're contributing to the space. It's very interesting.
I would totally use my hand. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Mel B, you were talking about what do I mean by natural state? Is that correct?
Yeah, because you just, I mean, yeah.
Hello, am I rugging?
Oh, I think
Oh yeah, I thought it was breaking up too.
my audio.
Hello?
Melby, can you talk?
I think she said, what do I mean by natural state? Look, I'm an amateur when it comes to quantum physics. I was just reading about how as soon as we try and observe something within the quantum realm, we change the way it behaves. And I think about that in our own lives because we're all essentially, made up of these atoms and how they behave. And as soon as we interact or observe, just the simple observation of something in the quantum realm, apparently it can change the way it behaves.
I'm
So then
just
we
a little,
can,
I'm kind of perplexed. Are you speaking about like living in a different realm, like experiencing a different realm? Is this through an experience lived, or like that somebody induces this, or is this chemically induced? I'm kind of like I'm reading.
Are you
I have
asking
to
if he
use the.
takes like shrooms?
I have
okay,
to use. Yeah, are you talking about being
yeah,
on a
sure.
trip?
No, this is science. This is like
Well, because
what
okay,
they've
I'm just
proven.
listening. I'm listening to your. I'm reading. That's why I'm trying to understand what you're saying, love. Observe
Yeah,
something within the quantum realm. We change the way it behaves.
yeah,
That in our
and someone else.
lives, because we're all essentially made of atoms. It sounds like you're speaking of like the fractal, like what, like, am I being rugged?
No, you're
Arr.
there. You're
Oh,
there.
sorry. Oh, okay,
Bilingual.
yeah, yeah.
Bilingual might be able to help what I'm trying to
Yes,
explain.
guys, I'm trying to get through to Melody, and she seems to have a wall up.
Maybe if you put your face there instead of a fucking unicorn, I'd talk to you.
All right, bet.
Show me your fucking face, and I'll talk to you.
Okay, BRB.
Go on, go on.
Is that you in the picture, Melby?
See, mommy, this is me. I'm actually looking at the camera, like right this.
Okay. Mel B, if this intrigues you and it's sort of like maybe challenging some things in your mind and you're unable to comprehend what I'm saying, it might be because I'm not explaining it right. Because where I started with this is I read a book and I'd recommend it to you if you're interested into it. It's called Quantum Physics for Dummies. That was my first book.
Oh,
So,
cute. Okay. Those those books really, that's that little doodle guy? Is this the doodle book
I
with
think
that
so.
big
Yeah.
black bar right across, which is like a blackboard?
Yeah, and I didn't read it. It was an audio book. So, yeah, I can't even say I did that. But what happens to me is I read these types of things and I relate to them in a way where I give my mind some time to comprehend. And essentially, when I do read these sort of things, sometimes it feels like there's like this explosion and a new universe has been created in my mind, which, there's all this energy and it's like this wow moment and things like that happen within my mind. So yeah, so here we are. Um, and you have a question, Nobby.
Hold up. Hey, who's the guy in the purple suit down there?
Where
A
are
ver,
we?
pues. Habla pues.
Hola.
Is that really you?
This is me. This is me.
Are you like standing and holding your hand up and talking to the phone like what?
No, I'm sitting down.
Oh, that's right. You're taking away.
But I was on my PC earlier. I'm not on my PC anymore.
Should go sit on a bouncy ball.
I'm trying to sit with you though.
How did you get your hair up like that? Is that like what sort of adhe? Did you have to use some sort of adhesive, or is that like a plait?
It's a man bun, man.
You got
Oh, is it?
curly hair?
Oh,
This guy's got thick hair.
It's a man bun for a manly
is it
man.
for a
Lotso
manly
bun.
man?
And I'm trying to
Yeah,
sit with Mel.
Man bun.
a man bun.
GK, what do you think about this?
Man buns are not for me. I like
Hmm.
my man with a short hair.
What's your definition
You
of
don't
a
like it
man?
when he pulls his loose curls into a little tight, messy bun.
No, messy bun, no long hairs, nothing longer than passes the ear, basically, like the tip of the ear, basically. I don't know. It's just,
Military standards.
yeah. I mean, from that point to the tip of the ear, yeah, nothing that's hanging on the shoulder. Um, it's just my preference. I don't know. I don't know where is it coming from. Probably my background, where I grew up from, and the culture that I grew up from. That could be related to that, to my unconscious level.
Mel B, are you into the man bun? Hand up.
I
Question.
actually I fell in love with the man bun from from the Last Samurai. Did you guys watch Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai? Like
Yeah,
I
if
really
I would see in samurais with the man bun, I would be into man buns. Sure,
this
I
is the
agree with you.
reason this is how it got started for me. But yeah,
Even the Aquaman, I mean, didn't he look good in that long hair? Come on.
Aquaman, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yo, yo.
No, why not?
No, I
He's
said
hot.
yes. Yes.
Oh,
I said
yeah,
yes.
you said yes.
Yes. Hmm. But you know, this is interesting because you brought up the culturally, right? So like there are cultures that men have long hair.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah. I mean, even
traditional.
the
And
country that
I mean, it's genetics for me.
what are your genes? Where do you hail from? Where's your family hailing from?
I'm not talking about like where's my family from. I'm talking about like
I'm
my
asking where your family's from.
I'm talking about my height, my hair length, if it's curly or it's straight.
Where
Yeah,
are
of
I don't
you
course,
think
it's
from?
genetics, but not the length of your hair. If you just don't cut your hair, it'll get longer. It has nothing to do with genetics.
so. You're saying everybody who doesn't cut their hair will all have long hair? Some people are bald.
Yeah, they
Do
do.
you wear
You're right.
dreads?
You're right. Of
Do you
course.
have do you have dreads? Bilingual.
I've had my hair braided before.
At least at some point of their life, they had the chance to grow their hair as long as they wanted, right?
Unless you're bald.
I don't know your name, sir.
No.
What is your name with your hand up? My fellow co-host.
Trav.
Of five.
Oh, you're Trav. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
five
this
Oh,
is
pro.
my
okay. Okay.
Can't you
I was like,
read?
you sound familiar, and I like the hands up thing. It makes me laugh. I heard it
sometimes it's good
before.
depending on the
Of
situation.
five pro. Why is your name
Oh,
Trav?
why is my name Trav? Was that the question?
No, that's not the real question. Don't.
Dr-
No.
Is it Doctor One of One? Um, when I was having a pet, were you asking someone a question in the space and then someone got triggered from it? Is that you? Your voice sounds familiar before.
No, no,
Wait, is
no,
that what
No.
happened? Bilingual. Who you fucking with?
no. It's just like when somebody depreciates their value. It's like,
Just stop
well,
fucking
don't be
around
like.
and leave it
It's like
alone.
don't be like full of shit.
Leave it alone. Leave it.
I'm
Did you?
saying
Was
like
that you? Okay. Okay.
don't
Sorry. I'll
Yes,
start the
depreciate
he
your
was
question again.
value and then be full of
Yeah, it
shit
was
Uh,
him.
because
He
it
was here
just makes
before.
you look
He was the purple
worse.
unicorn.
It makes you look worse than what you are, what you look like.
Sorry. Was that advice for me or was that for someone else? I wasn't
Don't
listening. Sorry.
he
I,
pay him no mind.
I think that was a compliment in a way, but it
Oh,
could have
did
taken
you?
out of in a wrong way as well.
That's
Mm.
cute, actually.
Um.
This whole scene
Yeah.
was cute. Hold on. Let's see if I can catch it.
I missed that. Do you know when there's a consciousness being created in a space where everyone's entangling and stuff like that, and you want to be a part of it, and then you essentially just troll that, and you come in, and then all of a sudden everyone leaves? I
No,
feel like
but
I've done that.
no, but here's what happens. It comes back. Like the ripple comes
Oh,
back. Okay.
the ripple comes back. I like that as a visual.
Yeah. That's why I'm giving it to you. So it'll disperse for a minute, and then it comes back to circle center.
Okay, cool. Cool. So,
Man, can you
Dr.
clip
Wonderful
that?
One.
Clip it. Someone clip that.
Yeah. Oh, yep. I'm doing that now. Can you tell me about the clip? Do I just tweet it? I'm still an amateur in some respects. A lot of respects, actually.
Do you
Very
have
amateurish.
you know what? I wanna talk I wanna be on spaces with him, Trav, and chocolate mushrooms.
And me.
Well,
Yeah.
excuse my lack of knowledge, but what is chocolate mushrooms?
So mushrooms
Mel,
are
why are you more open to other people?
because I gave you a shot. I invited you. You were
But
local. I invited
why are you
you
more open
to the
to other
beach,
people?
and
Like
you said
people that
you
you
came
don't
up with
even know.
excuses. So
You're more open to
un besito,
strangers
papi, un
than
besito. Este abrazo es para
hey,
ti. Este besito es
you're
para
more
ti.
open to people that you don't know than somebody who's actually like
Me
worse
gusta
than you.
mucho.
Hey, what do you call somebody who is more open to strangers than people that are actually
I'm
worse than
sorry.
you?
Did she say me gusta
Curious?
mucho?
Curious?
Yes,
That
Bella.
was the only Spanish that my Spanish friend taught me that I should tell people. I don't know.
Hey, what do you call a person that is more open to strangers than people who love them?
Chupacabra.
Um,
A stranger lover.
I'm sorry, I muted everyone then. I'd call them bored and curious about what's out there in the world.
Ah, fuck.
Would anyone agree with that? Just
No,
Come
bored and
again?
bored
I
and
What did
disagree.
curious.
I disagree.
You disagree? What would you call them then?
Yeah, because just because you're bored doesn't mean that you are, full of shit.
Okay, it was you who asked the question. You said something like, "Have you been incarcerated?" or something like that. I'm sure that's what your voice.
That was
I've
the
had
other
enough
guy.
time.
That was the other guy.
Yes, I just told
Yes,
you,
but
Trav, that's
did
him.
you ask that question?
No,
Yes,
because
Okay,
it
he said
awesome.
that his
it
he said
was
that his
him as
teacher
a
hated him.
unicorn. He
Okay,
was dressed
all right.
he was dressed as
Okay,
a unicorn earlier. He did an outfit change for us.
all right. Doctor One of One. I'm just curious about that discussion. I'd just like to know, because I think your intentions were genuine. I don't think your intentions were to trigger, but I was wondering if you sort of related. You related to something that he was saying because you may have been incarcerated yourself, and if that's why you asked that question.
So I've actually been a good student my whole life. I've got A's my whole life. 4.0s and stuff like that in high school.
Yeah, wait, but hang on. That's not my question. My question was. Let's start again. So my question was,
Did you go to
did you
jail?
feel? Yes, thank you, Mel B, my
That's
translator,
one.
my friend. So yeah, Doctor One of One. Did you go to jail?
Well, if you're asking me why I asked him that,
No,
it's
I
it's
asked the
Yes
it's
or
question
a
no
first.
different.
question. Have you been into jail? Yes or no?
Well, I'm not gonna answer
You
that
look, why?
because I don't want to, and I don't have to.
And that's fair enough. Okay. So can
Okay.
I ask the question? Can I ask the question? Uh, was there a sense of relatability? Was there something that he was saying in his story that you related to, and then led to something in your life, which is why you asked that question?
No,
Well, ye sort of
no,
part of it
no.
did, but part of it didn't. A bit of
Partially.
cognitive, partially. Okay, cool. Well, that's all I want to know because yeah, I was feeling sort of the same thing when I
But
was
the
listening
reason I
to him.
say no is because he said that his teacher hated him, and he was talking about the judge and the jury. And I said, well, do you have a problem with authority? Like, have you ever have any run-ins with the authority?
Mm.
Why would your teacher hate you if you weren't a good
How tall are
student?
you?
Taller than you,
How tall are you?
taller than you.
I'll tell you, if you're a good student, why would teacher might hate you? Okay, my mom was a math teacher in the same school that I went to high school to. And there was another teacher whose daughter was also in the same high school, and she was a literally C and D student. And my mom tried her best to bring her up to be a B student. And her friend, who was just like a health teacher, she gave me D on my exams that I was getting hundreds, okay, hundreds before her. I'm a straight A student throughout my high school. She was just angry at my mom because she didn't give her daughter an A and just maybe just write
So
down
you're
for
saying
her
that
or
you're
give
saying
her the
that you got
tips.
100% on a test, and
Yep.
your teacher, because your mom didn't like you, gave you a
No,
D.
no, no, it's not my mom. My mom did not give A to her poor studying daughter who was really doing terrible. She couldn't even get into college. I was a straight A student. So this is what happened. We basically went to the principal of the high school, and the whole paper was brought up to in front of the entire teachers committee. And then they actually ashamed her because she unfairly graded me on my papers I supposed to get 100. I mean, I got hundreds from biology. This is a health class. I studied biology in college. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, in high school, I'm a straight A student. She was only in grade my mom because she didn't get A to her poor studying daughter who couldn't even get into college. So she was just mad that why her daughter didn't do as well as I was doing. So the paper was brought to the committee, and the principal said that already teacher wrote whatever she could do. Like they couldn't just erase that, and we had to take her to the court. What I did was I had to take the exam during the summer, and I was able to bring my grade to the B. There a
Wow,
lot of unfair shit could happen. Yes.
that is all so much effort just for a B. Like you deserve an A plus to be able to
Yep.
achieve that.
Yep.
Like I could never do that. Like you know, I didn't know at the time, but when teachers graded, they not only graded on the community. Sorry, I'll start again. Teachers graded, I feel, not only on the curriculum and what was required of the student, but also on the emotion that that student invoked within them, because they're human beings, and I would get punished for that all the time. Doctor
But
One
if
of
you're
One,
living, I'm
GK,
coming
you
from
didn't put your hand
Saudi.
up.
Oh,
GK, put your hand up, Dick. Doctor One of One.
Yes, I want to give another perspective. So
Yes, great.
I've gotten A's my whole life. Obviously, I'm smart. It wasn't until
Well,
college. It wasn't until
hmm,
college that I actually got a D. You know, if not an F, and I began to question, not just myself, but the professor's ability to decide what is an A quality work compared to B quality work or C quality work or D quality work. If we all write essays in here, what is going to be the criteria of that? I will get an A and you will not, right? It has to. It would have to be grammar. It has to be grammatically correct, right? And it should also be a good structure, right? But
Yes.
let's say that we all have good grammar, we all have good structure. So isn't it not bias at that point?
As whenever you have human nature interacting within a system, there's always going to be biases. GK, you've got your hand up.
I was just going to say that what you just said, that teachers are human beings, doctors are human beings, politicians are human beings, and they all make mistakes. They all have bias. They all have their own, childhood traumas and certain type of education and certain type of culture they're coming from. And they decide adding that experience into them, they cannot escape from that.
But the
I
system, the
just
system in which they operate is of little error. So, right, a good professor will be based on the system. A bad professor will be biased. So, is the teacher bad or are you a bad student?
good question, but also, do you think there are actually teachers out there that are 100% incapable of being biased?
Not incapable by demeanor, but incapable by choice.
So therefore, they would be biased, and they're aware of it, and then they make the correction. So it's something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if they were biased right away, they would have to, look at the grammar, they would have to look at the structure so that their bias goes away. If they were biased.
Melody, are you getting bored again?
No, I'm playing with a dog. She finally didn't
Melby,
jump out of
Mel,
the sofa.
Melby has been
I want to play. I
Melby
want
has
to
been in
play.
spaces for a long time. Maybe she's a little bit run down, Melby.
I want to play with you.
Is the syndicate a place where people flirt and do these types of things? Does that happen a lot within this culture? I mean, I'm new.
Let
Doc,
I'll let the host answer that and see what's up. Because I do my Melly does Melly.
Melody, how long have you been in the syndicate? Like, been entangling with the syndicate for?
Uh well, I don't know when it actually stuck around, but like a couple of months ago was my first time or with someone from the syndicate.
Cool.
And I've known a few people for a while.
Yeah, I think I became aware of it around the same time, but I sort of didn't start untangling until like maybe, I'm not sure, a month ago. Dr. One of One, how about yourself, mate?
Are you around? Oh, Dr. One of One. Thought you meant so you.
Well, how long has Twitter Spaces been going?
No, sorry, that wasn't the question I was asking. How long have you been entangling for around with the syndicate, hanging around the syndicate?
Oh, pretty much.
I met
For
him 2 days ago.
yeah, I met
Ah,
Mel here.
so is that how long that's exactly the same? Like that's when you found the syndicate, when you found Melody, same time.
Yeah.
So you're not here for the syndicate. You're sort of more here for Melody.
Well, what is the syndicate?
Oh, good question. Very good question. GK had your hand up. Let's get back. Let's put a pin in that one, Doctor One of One. GK, can you put your hand up? You did put your hand up. Sorry. and you had something to say. I'm seeing GK sort of doing. Oh, yeah, yes, no, no. Oh, no, not relatable. No. Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Go
she's
ahead,
here.
GK.
Here with her hand. Let's go. Dale, mami.
So when
No?
I
Did you cover
think
your...
like when you put your hand up, when you turn the mic on, the hand goes back down. Is that right? Automatically or something like that?
When you
So,
unmic. Yeah.
Sorry, I was having some connection problems, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
oh, good.
Did you say
Okay,
awkward
well,
or good? What'd you say?
all good. All
Oh,
good.
okay.
Sorry. My
It's okay.
pronunciation is something that I need to work on.
Maltese.
No, very good. Where's your accent from, actually? I was just curious.
Oh, it's from everywhere. I was born in Australia, and I've traveled a fair bit, and yeah, currently living on the east coast of Australia, northeast coast. So if you have time, this would be a perfect time where we could all sort of keep a little bit of access. So you sound bites because he said apparently he did this amazing description of what the Syndicate was the other day. And if no one has ever met Soyu before, I suggest you all get to know him. He's a very interesting human being, and has taught me quite a lot. And the Syndicate has taught me quite a lot. And it's not something that I really want to explain because I feel like I'm going to do it an injustice if I do. Peter, if you'd like to come up and explain your interpretation of what the Syndicate is, feel free. If not, I see you hanging there. Jeff, does anyone know who Jeff
Can I?
is?
I just met
Hey,
Jeff the other
Peter.
day myself. I'll just quickly give my little rundown of what the Syndicate is to me,
Great.
because I
Thank
think
you.
the subjective perspective is definitely worthwhile, but there's no
Yeah.
real hard objective perspective. This is kind of a morphing little organism in the space of Web3. It's kind of transcendental in that sense. It's just a bunch of people that get together. There's a few select people that come and go regularly, and we pretty much seem to welcome everyone else. Like, we're always welcome to newcomers. Well, these guys are always welcome to newcomers. I'm still relatively new myself, but I seem to have been accepted by the people here. And, I'm not always perfect. I make my mistakes. I get hot-headed in arguments, and I'll tell people to shut the fuck up if they're being really annoying. But, like, we all get along. We all accept that, yep, this is what it is. We're all humans, and we all come from different walks of life. So the Syndicate is kind of like a conglomerate of human consciousness in a weird kind of way, where we just come here and talk shit. And it happens to be productive in some kind of way, in a weird kind of
So,
way,
would you say
because we all just
it's
want
more of a
more.
non-profit or like a for-profit? Is there a financial backbone, maybe?
That
Everybody
is something
has...
for people to discover.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody comes with their
Yeah.
world, right? What he just explained. Everybody comes with their world, and we either swim together or collide. We
If I can
flow
give you a yes,
But in
keep going.
regards to
Sorry, Melby.
leadership,
I strike myself.
of this space, I see the host is a unicorn. Melody is a co-host, and of Five Pro is a co-host. Is there a leader, or is it just like decentralized?
Good question. Maybe that's for you to discover.
Yeah, you can discover that one.
How about
Well,
Yeah.
he is able to mute everyone and ask GK to put her hand up when he doesn't ask for the Doctor 101. So I think he's the boss over here.
That's a good observation, GK.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'll be mindful of that, GK. Appreciate it.
That's funny. Cute.
There we go.
I like GK a lot.
Me too.
Yeah, I like it. I like you guys as well.
Aww.
Oh, love circle.
All
right, Woman Fuzzy, over.
I don't know. Maybe we can skip that hand. Let's skip that one. Jeff came up. Jeff, did you want to share something?
Yeah, Jeff requested to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was just thinking about it's kind of off the wall a little bit, but thinking about connecting to the
You're
AirPod
breaking up.
into my ear.
You're breaking up.
Hold on.
Sounds more like a just a sort of
How's that?
mic
My bad.
positioning. Hey,
My
that
bad.
sounds a bit better.
All right.
Better.
Yeah, I have to turn my Wi-Fi off because if I walk away from my house, it messes up. Yeah, so I was just thinking about connecting to a space and then like putting an AirPod in my ear, and then now I'm like connected with a bunch of people scattered across the globe instantly.
Mm.
And it's interesting because it's acoustic coupling, right? We're exchanging vibrations through a medium, and it's all translated to electronic signals inside of your brain, or electrical signals. And the internet is like that. It's kind of the same idea, but it's, in a way, it's like being in the Matrix, right? It's like being connected, like that in the movie. They have that weird plug in the back of your neck or whatever. So yeah, I would imagine, like, if I were from like the 1800s and I saw someone putting this thing in their ear, and then all of a sudden they're talking to these people that are all over the world, I would probably freak out, and probably in the same way that maybe I feel right now about Neuralink, that the idea of having a brain implant and being able to connect to the internet.
Yes, good. Jeff.
Jeff, do you feel like you want to get one of those?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't.
I'm with you on that one. It sounds cool and amazing, but I think I don't know. There's some possibilities. I'd probably observe it for a bit. That question wasn't for me anyway. Sorry, Melody. Were you going somewhere with that?
No, I'm just trying not to call on Dr. One. Hello.
Well, we can look, Doctor One. I can. The curiosity's there, some line of questioning and things, and we can drop him down to listener for a bit, so his hand's not in your face. And
Yeah, you
if
can.
he wants to stay in this space and sort of figure out a bit more about the
I mean,
syndicate,
why?
then we can
Well, I
do
don't
that. But
understand. I'm holding my hand up respectfully. I don't know why you feel like you feel some type of way about it.
that's a really good question because, and it goes on to what Jeff was talking about. Because what I sort of like to do is I like to, because we only have the resource in this space that Jeff says, I like to really study the phonetics of people's voices and tones. And there's types of things that maybe my buddy Melody is saying up
Honestly,
here.
based on my experience with the syndicate,
Okay, sorry, buddy. You spoke over the top of me, and I'm co-host, and I really want to hear what you have to say. But I have these resources available to me, and what I can do is when someone behaves in a manner that sort of doesn't suit the culture that I feel like I'd like to create within the syndicate, I can use it. So on that note, my friend, I'm going to remove you from speaker, and I'm going to drop you down as listener. Now, if you'd like to stay, you are very, very welcome in this room because I hear something within your voice. I hear the phonetics, I hear the curiosity, I hear the sense of urgency. I hear it's all there, and I'm here you're willing to share. I also hear that you might have some sort of semi, but I'm not sure if Melody appreciates your line of questioning. And there he goes, ladies and gentlemen, he's gone. I did not eject him. He left on his
No,
own accord.
he will come back. He might be right here. He might be here. Let's see.
Off by prong, I will say, I love your style.
I do too.
It's refreshing.
I like
It's a
it.
bit
I
different
like
to
it.
what we're used to with the chaos, right? Like we're so used to just the chaotic talking over each other, just getting into massive conflicts and getting into arguments. But like sometimes just having a mediator that comes in and is like, nah, you're done for a minute.
I love it.
Just chill out for a minute. Like it's nice because the amount of times we could have had more productive discussions. It sounds weird because I don't want to sound like I'm enabling this kind of exclusive culture because this shouldn't be that. And I know you feel the same way.